picked her, and you chose to make a baby with her.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Joel Knutson is suing his ex-girlfriend, Catherine Harrison, for damaging his guitar while dropping off their child.
Order. All rise. Your Honor, this is case number 433 on the calendar, the matter of Knutson versus Harrison.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated.
Mr. Knutson, you and the defendant have a child together.
Correct.
A boy?
Yes.
Who's 8?
Technically 9.
9. Did you ever live together?
We did for just short of 6 years.
And that terminated when?
4 years ago.
So the boy was 5 at the time.
About 4, I think. Close to 5.
And subsequent to your separation, did you amicably reach a custody arrangement?
We reached a custody arrangement.
In court?
Yes.
And what was that arrangement?
I have about 45% custody, and she has the remainder.
So when is your son with you?
Every Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and then it's confusing. It works out to be to Tuesday.
And that's been going on for how long?
3 years.
And do either of you pay child support?
I pay her child support.
How much?
It's about $260 a month, I believe. It's pretty minimal.
No, Your Honor.
Don't interrupt. Do you adhere to the visitation custody arrangement?
I take him. There are some Fridays I work late, and she chooses in our court order. It's left where the parent who can't have him has to let the other parent have first rights of refusal. So occasionally on Fridays I don't have him, but I take him all the other times.
You're a musician?
Correct.
That's how you support yourself?
That's my largest source of income.
What kind of work do you do?
I'm an IT consultant. I work with other businesses to help them with their data systems.
Is that how you support yourself?
Yes.
Are you an independent contractor?
That's right.
Did you file taxes last year?
I did.
How much did you earn?
I don't remember. I don't know, 20,000?
Who do you live with?
I live with my son.
What other subsidies do you get to exist? Not existing on $20,000 a year.
I am, actually. I mean, I live in it's not as expensive in where we live as it is here in California, and sometimes we eat beans and rice, but we do okay. I get the $200 from Mr. Knutson, $216 from Mr. Knutson every month. I don't know. Some months are tighter than other months.
What kind of car do you drive?
It's a Subaru.
What year?
It's a '05. I was given it by my mom when she bought a new car. She sold it to me for... You
live alone with your son, and you pay rent?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yes is the answer. And what's your rent?
$975 a month.
You have insurance for your car?
I do.
And how much is the insurance a month?
$40 or $50 a month.
With $1,000 a month rent, I'm not figuring out how you're working. I'll let it go. If you can see that there's a frustration that I have with your answer and with the scene that you caused when you brought your son to his house, over $200. Do you understand?
$200 is a lot of money.
I don't care if it's $200. I don't care if it's $3,000. If you love your child, in exchange of custody, you don't create a scene, which is exactly what you did, which is you're going to tell me about, which is what this case is all about. This is what the case is about, as far as I gather from the complaint and the answer. You say that he had agreed to give you $200 towards some daycare expense. According to what I'm reading, there was some discrepancy as to what time the child was to be brought to his father's house. There was texting back and forth between the two of you that day, which I'm sure one of you has to show me, where it was clear that there was not an agreement.
Correct.
What time was the child to be brought to your house that day?
12 o'clock on Sundays, on Sunday visits.
What was the date?
It was the 12th of June.
And the arrangement is that you bring the child to his house on Sunday? That's either a yes or a no? It's very easy for me to figure out. No. Is he supposed to pick the child up from your house?
There's no formal arrangement as to who picks up and drops off. On that
particular day. On June the 12th, were you to bring your son to his house?
Yes, I was. On June the 12th, I volunteered to bring him.
So on June the 12th, you were to bring him to his house?
Yes.
At noon?
Correct.
Did you bring him?
We were running late that day. I did bring him, but we were running late.
How late were you running?
By the time I got there, we were 17 minutes late.
That's not a big deal. 12:17. Were you at home at 12:17?
Your Honor, I was not. I asked Ms. Harrison if I could pick up our son the night before at her house because we had an engagement with the rest of our family an hour away at 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock on Sunday.
Correct.
Can I see that? Can I see that text?
The texts I have are just about her being late, and it actually does say that I offered to pick her up, or offered to pick him up somewhere here, I guess.
Well, that's what so you wanted to pick him up on the June 11th at night.
No, I wanted to...
You wanted to pick him up from her house at 12
Correct.
noon. Did she respond to that text?
She did. She was running late, and I told her that I had to leave or I'd miss the family event.
Can I see those, please? Okay, so whatever it was on this particular Sunday, based upon these things back and forth, you were clearly annoyed with each other.
Yes. And I'd like to add, Your Honor, that she was late so many times I had to take her to court for contempt.
Okay. Well, 15 or 17 minutes late doesn't mean anything unless you had to be someplace, and then you can always be 15 minutes late. I'm not suggesting that that was a grown-up thing to do, to leave. If she said, I'm running a few minutes late, and if she, in fact, got there at 12:17.
Right. Your Honor, it sounds stupid now, but at the time it was a parade, and they blocked the street at 1, and if I'm not there, I don't see my family, we don't sit together, it's a lost day.
Okay, well then, you should have made arrangements for an earlier pickup and picked up your son earlier than 12 o'clock, picked him up at 10 o'clock in the morning, and then it would have been maybe better.
Right.
Also, Your Honor, we cross paths. Like, he drives past my house, and my route from my house to... He could have pulled over at a gas station or anywhere along that route. He could have picked him up, but he didn't want to. He wanted to be able to say that I was getting in his way.
When you finally got there, you brought the child to his house. Mm-hmm. What time was it?
I sent a text to him. He told me that he was on the highway, be on time next time at 12:19.
No, I have that here. What time did the boy finally get to his father's?
At 7 p.m.
7 o'clock.
We tried to call him all day. He didn't answer his phone.
Just a second.
Sure.
7 o'clock. Now, I want you to tell me what happened at 7 o'clock.
So at 7 o'clock, I
pulled up in front of his house.
Pulled up in front of his house, went with my son to the door, knocked on the door. Mr. Knutson opened the door. My son went in the house. I went in after him into the house, and I told him that I wasn't going to leave until he paid me the $200 that he agreed that he would pay me. He told me he would pay me the $200. And I said, I'm not going to leave until you pay me that $200. And he said, I'm not going to pay you. I said, okay, fine. He has a number of guitars sitting by the door. So not to steal a guitar, not to wreck a guitar, but to prove a point, take this guitar. So
you can't do that.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
It wasn't my best day.
Just a second. Not only wasn't it your best day, but it was probably so miserable for your 9-year-old that day because you were annoyed all day, and clearly he didn't want to let you in the house. You sort of pushed your way through.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Joel Knutson says ex-girlfriend Catherine Harrison damaged his guitar while dropping off their child. Catherine is countersuing for daycare expenses.
Okay, I want you to tell me what happened at 7 o'clock.
Mr. Knutson opened the door. My son went in the house. I went in after him, and I told him that I wasn't going to leave until he paid me the $200 that he agreed that he would pay me. He told me he would pay me the $200. And he said, I'm not going to pay you. I said, okay, fine. There was a guitar right there. I put it on my shoulder. I said, fine, I'll take this guitar. So
you can't do that.
I know. It wasn't my best day.
Just a second. Wasn't your best? I got it. Not only wasn't it your best day, but it was probably so miserable for your 9-year-old that day.
Yes.
Because you were annoyed all day, and then he gets to his father's house, and the two of you have sort of pushed your way through the door. You weren't leaving. Because that's what his case is about. He says that you broke the door, pushing your way through, and you damaged his guitar. He called the police. Okay, and I'm sure he has a police report about that call because the police did, in fact, arrive. That's what the case is about. And you have a counterclaim for the $200.
I do.
Yeah. Okay. So, door. She came in, You blocked the door. You say
Yep.
she came in. She
Yeah,
came in despite the fact that you told her not to. I'd like to see the damaged door.
Right. These are the two pictures taken of the door, the bent hinge and the doorknob.
There was no confrontation at the door. He tells me that I broke the door. This is the 5th time, apparently, that I've broken his door, which I'm not breaking doors.
I didn't ask you anything. You have to learn how to control yourself.
Sorry.
Do you have a receipt for the repair of this door?
I do.
I'd like to see it. Now, what happened with the guitar?
Well, what she said is pretty correct up to a point. She pushed her way in the, as she
I just want to know what happened with the guitar.
Well, what happened is, can I show you the guitar? That would be the easiest way to explain it. So, case, there isn't much to it.
It's a soft case.
Yes. And so she grabbed the case, put it over her shoulder as she was going to take it, and I didn't want to touch her because obviously that would be bad. So I'd called the police, and luckily they showed up on time. And they were there so fast it was ridiculous. And so they asked her to put the guitar down. They asked her if she had permission to come in. She, of course, said no, she did not. And they asked if the guitar was hers. She said no. So they asked her to put it down. And when she went to put it down, what she did is she actually slammed the case against another case in this fashion. And what happened is it caved the internals in of the guitar. And you can feel it better than you can see it, but I can point it out if you like. I don't know if you'll be able to see it from there, but right here is one of 3 cracks.
Can you get that for me?
And then there's also
Did you
one.
have it repaired?
Actually, that was kind of a crazy deal. Yes, I did.
You have a receipt for the repair.
Yes, and this was a little bit convoluted, Your Honor. I also, in addition to being a musician, I own a retail music store. So first I had one of my state certified luthiers first attempted to repair it, and he realized it was beyond his repair, so we sent it to another dealer that prepares that brand under warranty. They couldn't fix it, so I have...
There's a crack in the guitar. Are you alleging that she caused this crack in the guitar, this long crack?
Yes, that was all caused from the front getting put. There's
This
3
crack.
cracks. Yep.
Okay, got it.
He would have to somehow prove that.
Yeah.
I mean, the guitar was in a case.
You have to learn to control yourself. And you picked her. I mean, if she's a neurotic broad, you picked her, and you chose to make a baby with her. So what you did on that day when you brought your son to his house is inexcusable as a parent.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Joel Knutson is accusing ex-girlfriend Catherine Harrison of damaging his guitar during an argument.
Okay, there's a crack in the guitar. Are you alleging that she caused this crack in the guitar, this long crack?
Yes.
He would have to somehow prove that.
Yeah.
I mean, the guitar was in a case.
You have to learn to control yourself. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, it did eventually. It went to one repair facility that's authorized to repair that. They couldn't fix it, so then it was shipped back to the manufacturer. I ended up losing the guitar for 5 months, and I make a good portion of my living with that. They repaired some of it, but they could not repair the top because it's an anniversary super rare guitar and has gold in St. Cloud in 2005.
Do you recall how much you pay for it? I know a little bit about the cost of guitars.
$3,900.
Very expensive. Now I want you to tell me, Miss Harrison, there is a court order of support for $216 a month.
Yes, it's...
That he, I'm speaking.
Sorry.
That he pays to you. And there is a court order that he has 45% custody and you have 55% custody based upon time. Is that
It doesn't
correct?
say a percentage. We actually, by definition, we have joint physical custody and joint legal custody. There's no percentage.
Well, so you don't pay him support. He pays you support.
Yes, 200. Yeah.
Why should he pay you anything?
Because I have...
Just a second. Why should he pay you anything? I mean, if you share, you just told me you share custody, and you share legal custody as well as physical custody. If you were working optimally, you would pay, when your son was with you, you would pay his expenses. When he was his father, his father pays his expenses. Right now, he's paying you court order $216 a month. I don't know what else you do other than this $20,000 that you report to the IRS. So I want you to tell me now, convince me that he agreed to pay beyond what he was already paying by court order to you.
So we had the conversation on the phone. This was in late May I believe it
You
was...
called him.
I called him, and my son's in school during the year, and in the summer you need to make arrangements for an 8-year-old as to what they're going to do all day during the summer while I work, while he works. So the same preschool and child care program that he'd been to since he was 2 years old, they have a program for school-aged children.
Got it.
So it's expensive. It's over $500 a month. I said, I need you to help with this somehow. Can you pay half? He says, oh, no, blah, 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 I can't pay half. Okay, what can you pay? And he said, well, I suppose I could pay you $200. So the $200 wasn't much, but it was enough for me to make that decision. If I knew he wasn't going to pay the $200, I would have made a different decision for that summer in terms of what I would have done for my child for care. He said he was going to pay the $200. For whatever reason, I believed him, and so I made the decision to enroll him in that.
Now, tell me what you recall of that conversation.
Yes, she did call me, and the conversation was about the $200, and the way I recollect the conversation was that if I could line up my child care with the same school, that it would make sense for me to help pay for it, but I ended up going somewhere else.
So what you're telling me is that you pay for child care when he's with you?
Only during the summer and only on Monday.
During the summer, but only Monday?
Correct.
So you have a limited responsibility?
Correct.
Do you recall?
We did talk about that amount.
Okay. And did you indicate to her that I suppose I could come up with $200?
I told her I wanted to think about it.
No, I don't believe you, Mr. Knudsen. I don't believe that at all. Anyway, on your claim, I'm awarding you $2,145.
Your Honor,
for the guitar. I'm speaking. I'm deducting from that the $200 that I believe you agreed to pay her for child care. $1,945. Your counterclaim is therefore dismissed. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,945. And I'm telling you, Ms. Harrison, you got to control yourself because your primary responsibility is making your child feel secure. Right now, you have a father who is both interested, involved, participates.
I'm sorry.
That's your problem.
I wish
that's
he would
your
be
problem.
involved.
Just a second. That's your problem.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by...
Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Okay. Right now, you have a father who is both interested, involved, participates.
I'm sorry.
That's your problem.
It is a problem. It is a big problem. It is a big...
By not being able to control yourself in front of your child, you make his life worse. You picked him. Your son didn't pick him. You picked him, and you picked her. I mean, if she's a neurotic broad, you picked her, and you chose to make a baby with her. It's really so unfair of you because you caused this problem. You caused this problem.
Well,
if you needed an extra $200 and you don't work optimally, because
it's
I'm
my
getting
own business, and I'm growing the business, so it's going to continue to make more money. I'm getting the feeling
you're not working optimally, and he's paying you support, and you share custody. So what you did on that day when you brought your son to his house is inexcusable as a parent. Inexcusable.
He does a number of things that are inexcusable.
Inexcusable.
Ma'am, the car's not even worth that much money.
Parties are excused and they step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
It's hard for me every single day.
She's
taking care of our son. He's never told me thank you. He's never said, what can I do to help?
She really is a decent woman, and she is overall a good parent.
Either leave me alone and let me do what I need to do to take care of our child.
Hands off the guitars.
Do you have a license to carry a firearm?
Yes, Your Honor.
A roommate relationship reaches a flashpoint.
He starts cursing at me, yelling at me, threatening me.
There's no rational reason why he would start to curse at you.
Then, was he under the gun?
Mr. Yomtov says, you don't talk to my girlfriend. I'm going to kill you. He points it at my face to the point where I can see down the barrel, and he pulled the trigger.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Adam Yomtov is suing his former roommate, Jeff Kester, for damages resulting from a false arrest.
Order. All rise. Now, it's case number 441 on the calendar, the matter of Yomtov versus Kester.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated.
You were roommates for a period of time, and it is your claim, Mr. Yomtov, that the defendant had you falsely arrested for threatening him with a gun.
Correct, Your Honor.
You want $5,000 for the false arrest. Mr. Kester has a gun, and he's been traumatized since. Now, what I gather, the problem that the two of you began to have was about a car that who wanted to purchase?
Mr. Costa.
You wanted to purchase.
I had purchased, but the gun issue was the car.
Shh. You purchased a car.
Correct.
When did you purchase the car?
August of 2016.
And you got it through somebody that Mr. Yomtov put you together with.
Correct.
And Mr. Yomtov said, well, because he made the connection, he should have gotten a commission of $250.
Correct, Your Honor.
I don't care whether that's true or not, because that, in August, started the difficulty between the two of you because he didn't give you the $250.
Correct, Your Honor.
So then you stopped talking to each other. Now, according to what I've read, there came a time subsequent to August of this year that you were sitting in the living room with your girlfriend?
No, we weren't in the living room.
Where were you?
Kitchen. I was in the kitchen. My girlfriend was in the room taking a nap after work.
Okay. Now, I want you to tell me what happened on this date when the police were called to the house, which would be...
September 1st?
Yes. He says that on that date, you were there with your girlfriend, and he said hi to her. That's what I'm reading, correct?
That's good.
And you said to him, don't talk to my girlfriend.
It's a lie.
Okay.
The defendant claimed that I pulled my firearm from my left pocket, which clearly I'm a righty.
Okay.
He claimed that I...
Do you have a license to carry a firearm?
Yes, Your Honor. I do security, armed security.
Had you ever shown the defendant at any time that you were roommates, had you ever shown him, displayed to him your gun? No, don't look over there.
No.
Look over here.
Occasionally, after my work, I used to come home with full uniform with my firearm on my right wrist. So he noticed
don't tell me what he noticed. That calls for you to have a view into what's in his mind. I asked you whether you ever showed him your firearm.
No, Your Honor.
So on this date, which was September 1st, which was just shortly after this kerfuffle over the $250 commission.
It was a little longer than that. It was about roughly 2 months.
Well, then it wouldn't have been in August that he bought the car.
I'm not certain actually about the date of when he purchased the car.
Can I see the police report?
I do not.
Well, your release date was September 2nd.
Yes.
And your arrest date was September 1st.
Correct.
Okay, and you have no police report.
Did
they confiscate your gun when they arrested you?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So I want you to tell me your version of what happened on September 1st. And then he's going to tell me his version of what happened on September 1st.
On September 1st, it was bright and early. Me and him, obviously, as usual, we kind of go back off on it.
No. I want you to tell me on September 1st what happened, not what you usually do.
No, that's exactly how it all escalated.
Well,
on September 1st, in the morning, me and him obviously went back at it, cursing.
No, I don't understand what you meant, back at it.
We're cursing and...
What were you cursing at?
The defendant, as it was both ways.
No. You're not following me, sir. I woke up in the morning on September 1st. My girlfriend was sleeping. I went out into the kitchen. The defendant was in the kitchen. I said to him, he said to me. I said to him, he said to me. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Okay. Now let's go.
On September 1st, I was in the kitchen. My girlfriend just returned from work. She went into the room. She went to take a nap. I was in the kitchen preparing a meal. The defendant came out of his room. He started cursing at me.
No. I don't want you to tell me. He came out of his room.
Okay.
And he came into the kitchen. No, don't think. What did he say?
He starts cursing at me, yelling at me, threatening me.
I don't believe you, sir. I don't believe you. I'm going to tell you why.
Why?
Because you're the one who says that he owes you money. He doesn't say you owe him money. Why would he start cursing at you? Do you understand what I'm saying to you?
Yes, Your Honor.
If something doesn't make sense, it's not true. He has no claim that you owe him money. You believe that he owes you money for something that you didn't give him. Okay. So I don't understand. There's no rational reason why he would start to curse at you.
I advised him.
So let's go.
I advised.
No, don't tell me what you advised.
Okay.
You're in the kitchen.
I saw him. I told him if he can.
No, I told him what?
I told him to please stop using my utensils and my kitchenware, considering I noticed him using them and not washing them, and then I have to do everything after him. And not to mention, I saw that he was damaging my property. That's when he starts going off at me, telling me if you want.
So you walk in.
Yes.
And you're in the kitchen already.
Correct.
What are you doing in the kitchen?
Preparing a meal.
And when he came into the kitchen.
Correct.
And exactly what happened when he walked into the kitchen. Now he's walked into the kitchen. You have to remember, I have a crystal ball. He walks into the kitchen. The first thing that you say to him when you saw him was, don't use the utensils.
And then he starts
yelling. Just a second. He hasn't used the utensils.
Yes, he has.
No, not according to you. He walked into the kitchen. I said, what happened when you saw him? You said, first thing I said to him, don't use any kitchen utensils.
He was using them days before and every time. For the past week, for that same week.
All right, let's go.
Okay.
Let's go. Keep it going.
I told him to stop using it. He starts yelling at me, telling me if you don't want me to using your stuff, take everything in your room and keep it there, and then use it whenever you want, when it's all in your room. Now, Your Honor, I did have a small room.
Listen to me. What you said to him, what he said to you, and what happened in the kitchen.
And I told him, please keep your distance from my girlfriend, because it was kind of bothering me, because he was always trying to cook dinner for her and spoil her and stuff like that, which kind of bothered me. And then I told him, stop using my stuff, or if you use them, clean up after yourself. He starts yelling, going off at me, telling me if you want me to not to use them, taking everything into your room and stuff like that. And then that's when he grabbed the kitchen knife. He took 2 steps towards me. I took 2 steps back, and I grabbed the kitchen knife also just to protect myself. That was around 5:45. Then he walks out of the house. He apparently had some AA meetings that he had to go to. And my girlfriend opened the door, and she yanked me in. Apparently, we woke her up from the yelling. Later that night, Jeff comes back home around 10 o'clock, firearm, which he clearly noticed me walk into the house a couple times with. The cops come. They literally did not know what to do. It was a he said, she said kind of case to them. They called their superior. The superior...
Don't tell me what they arrested you.
Yeah, clearly, because I had my firearm at the house.
Good. You want to tell me what happened in the kitchen?
Yes, ma'am. At 5:45, I was in my bedroom.
In the morning?
5:45 in the evening.
In the evening.
I have school at 6:10, college, night classes.
5:45, you're in your room.
And I opened the door. I went to walk out to go to school. I had my books in one hand and a coffee cup in the other. I took 1 step forward toward the left-hand door to go downstairs. Both Mr. Yomtov and Wendy were in the kitchen cooking.
Not true.
I had said to Wendy, good evening, I'm off to school. I was not in the kitchen. I was within 2 feet of my bedroom door. Mr. Yomtov says, you don't talk to my girlfriend, I'm going to kill you, and proceeds to pull out a gun out of his left-hand pocket. He takes 1 step forward, and now he's about 6 feet from me. He points it at my face to the point where I can see down the barrel. He had the slide back because...
He had the slide back, not because.
I could see the shine. That's why I told the police the gun had a chrome. Once he did that, it happened very fast. Wendy was standing behind him in the kitchen. She bails into the bedroom. She just jumps into the bedroom.
Not true.
He laughs at me with, like he got me, a snicker, and then jumps into the bedroom and slams the door and leaves me standing there.
Got it.
Not true, Your Honor.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today...
Let's say he was on his cell phone, talking to Mars. You would acknowledge, Mr. Gutierrez, that if you were going straight, his bike wouldn't have hit you. So the case really hinges on one thing. Was there a sign that said no right turn?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Adam Yomtov says former roommate Jeff Kester had him falsely arrested for making threats. Jeff is countersuing for emotional distress.
Go ahead.
He proceeds to pull out a gun, and he pulled the trigger. Once he did that, it happened very fast.
Not true.
He laughs at me with, like he got me, a snicker, and then jumps into the bedroom and slams the door and leaves me standing there.
Got it.
Not true, Your
True.
Honor.
Absolutely true. You deserve to get arrested. DA decided not to prosecute. Your case is dismissed. Judgment on the counterclaim, $1,500. We're done. Thank you.
Your Honor,
We are done.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
The defendant clearly accused me of something, false accusation.
I feel he's a danger to the community.
Cost me money, a lawyer, attorney, move out, bail bond.
He has vanished that gun in other situations.
Headaches, stress, frustration, and I lost a lot of time and money.
I'm in my 5th month of therapy.
In doing so from his false accusation.
Sleeping issues, anxiety.
Clearly he has a grudge against me.
I'm amazed that
Buy a house and, you know, avoid people like that kind of.
she figured out right on the nail exactly what happened as fast as she did.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Gutierrez versus Smith. Step forward.
Motorist Matthew Gutierrez is suing bicyclist Jeffrey Smith for crashing into his car.
Mr. Gutierrez, you were driving your car on a street that had a bicycle lane. You were aware that there was a bicycle lane as you were driving. It is your claim that you made a right turn from the right turn lane and the defendant hit your car while traveling on his bicycle.
There was no way to be able to get into the right time.
Well, that's what he says. He says that there was no right turn lane, and he says that there was actually a sign that said no right turn.
Yes, Your Honor.
Your case is that Mr. Smith, while on his bicycle, ran into your car while you were making a right turn. And the question is, was there a sign that said no right turn because of the construction that was going on? That would be important, would it not? Now, the accident happened when?
It was Saturday, March 5th.
Day or night?
During the day.
And the rules of the road for bicyclists are you have the same rules as
vehicles when I'm on the road.
Vehicles. And let us assume, just for argument's sake, on March 5th, that there's no construction lane on the right. So that, according to you, the car in the right lane could, in fact, make a right turn. Would it require you to stop?
No, because there's clearance between the right turn lane and the straight vehicle lane, whereby I could pass to the left of a right turning vehicle in parallel with vehicles going straight.
Well, you could, unless you were side by side to the car. Then there wouldn't be a signal that you could see.
That'd be
so
correct.
My question is, are you supposed to stop at an intersection? Is that intersection controlled by a light?
It is.
So, Mr. Gutierrez, the case really hinges on one thing. Was there a sign that said no right turn?
There was a sign that's not a city ordinance sign.
Just a second. I don't care whether it's a city ordinance sign. Is there a sign that says no right turn?
Yes, when there's construction workers.
Do you have the sign?
I have pictures, yes.
Sure.
So this is the top, and the top three have decent images.
There's a sign that says no right turn.
Exactly.
So what were you doing making a right turn?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You made an illegal right turn, which caused the accident.
Can I respectfully ask you to just watch the video briefly?
Listen, I love people who are respectful, and I love to look at videos. It allows me to clear my head.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Motorist Matthew Gutierrez says bicyclist Jeffrey Smith is at fault for an accident on the road.
There's a sign that says no right turn.
Exactly, Your
So
Honor,
what were you doing making a right turn?
The sign itself is there so that when there's construction workers, for their safety.
This sign, just a second. My only question to you is, was this sign up on the day of the accident?
With respect, I'd like to defer on that. There were vehicles making that right turn because there was no construction workers at the time.
Just a second.
They also...
It doesn't say here no right turn when there are construction workers, when little men are working. It doesn't say that. It just says no right turn.
Right, Your Honor. But at that point, when other vehicles were going through, they did not close off that section of the street, so it was not closed off. Vehicles were making that right turn gingerly, making sure you do it safely, since there were no workers
Just a
at
minute.
the time.
Nor is this no right turn sign blinking, so that it says proceed with caution. If you stop and you want to make a right turn, you can make a right turn if there are no little men working. Look, Mr. Gutierrez, this sign says no right turn. You're not supposed to make a right turn. So that the bicyclist going straight and seeing this sign that says no right turn need not be cautious of you, because you are not permitted to make the right turn. You have to go straight. And you would acknowledge, Mr. Gutierrez, that if you were going straight, his bike wouldn't have hit you, right?
Correct.
So if you followed the rule, this rule, and didn't make a right turn, you wouldn't have had an accident.
Your Honor, they're straightforward, but at that point he could have hit me, because at the time of the impact, when I got out to see if he was okay, he was picking up his bicycle and his cell phone. He was very forthcoming. He told me at that time, oh, well, I'm sorry, I hit your car. I shouldn't have been on my phone. I wasn't paying attention. I was like, okay. So at that point...
Mr. Gutierrez, it's very simple, sir. Let's say he was on his cell phone. Let's say he was talking to Mars.
Okay.
On his cell phone. You broke the law by making a right turn. If there was a policeman there, the policeman could have ticketed you for making a right turn. You, therefore, cannot come to court with dirty hands and say, you know what? There were other people making a right turn too. And if he hadn't been on his phone, he would have seen that I was going to make an illegal right turn, and therefore he wouldn't have hit me. Mr. Gutierrez, you have no case.
But, Your Honor, isn't it illegal for someone to not yield to a vehicle in front of them? I got hit in the rear. I got hit from behind.
You made an illegal right turn, which caused the accident.
Can I respectfully ask you to just watch the video briefly?
Listen, I love people who are respectful, and I love to look at videos. It allows me to clear my head.
Closed captioning sponsored by...
Want justice? Go to JudgeJudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Go.
Thank you, Your Honor. Oh, there you go. Would you like me to describe a little bit of it? No? Okay.
This sign says it, you see. He doesn't have to say anything. It just says no right turn.
It's not a city ordinance, and there were no workers, Your Honor. They even removed the
Mr.
crowd.
Gutierrez, you're not paying attention. But I'll look at your video.
Sure. No, there's no workers at the corner. They moved the sidewalk closed inside so people can walk down the sidewalk, because when there are construction workers there, they also don't want people walking down the sidewalk. That was removed. There was no work going on. I made the right turn just like this gentleman. When I got hit, I already had made my turn for the most part, and that's where he hit me. So I guess, you know, it would be as to say, okay, well, if someone's parked on the wrong side of the road,
your case is dismissed, Mr. Gutierrez, so you shouldn't have made a right turn. We're done here.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you.
You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
Initially, I did hit him, and I was full adrenaline. I mean, I was biking.
I didn't feel it was illegal because there were no...
Down and barely avoided, you know, a more severe impact.
For you to be following, like, cautiously because there's workers present.
My phone fell out of my pocket, but I was not doing that. I was not talking on it during the accident.
Just make sure you're following the rules.
I mean, he didn't get a citation or his insurance jacked up, so things went fairly well for him, all things considered.
And don't make a right when there's even a construction sign saying not to.
But I'm glad that things, you know, ended up as well as they did.
You're not together anymore. She can have a date.
A chance for quality time with his 8-year-old.
She was supposed to drop him off with me for 2 hours.
He was text messaging me from 6:30 on.
I already had my day planned, and I had things to do.
But enough?
And then you decided to take him home.
Yes.
Was enough.
When had you last spent time with your son?
It was about 2 years prior that year.
2 years?
Judge Judy. You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Tina Burke is suing her ex-boyfriend, Ryan Kelsey, for vandalizing her car when he scratched it during an argument.
Order. All rise. It's case number 430 on the calendar in the matter of Burke versus Kelsey.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated.
Mr. Kelsey, I'm going to start with you, sir, because I'm going to get some information that's going to be able to help me. The plaintiff is your former girlfriend. You have a child together. Child is how old?
He's 8.
Is that your only child?
No, I have 2 other children.
How old are the 2 others that you have?
I'm 12 and 19.
Did you say about 12?
No, he's 12 years old, and I have a 19-year-old daughter.
Do they live with you?
My son does, yeah, the 12-year-old.
Your 19-year-old daughter is on her own?
Yeah.
Yes, that would be yes. Okay, so you have an 8-year-old, and that's your youngest child.
Yeah.
And did you and Miss Burke live together at any point?
No.
But you enjoy visitation with him?
Yes.
Is that court-ordered visitation?
No.
It's visitation that you arranged with each other?
Yes.
And when do you have the visitation?
Just every once in a while. We're going through court right now, so it'll probably be a regular visitation.
A regular visit, okay. Well, October 2nd of last year, an incident occurred. Tell me about what was the schedule for visitation on that date?
She was supposed to drop him off with me for 2 hours, and so...
What time?
I can't remember the exact time.
Well, this is important. You know you're coming here today because if you don't remember, I'm going to get the information from her.
Oh, okay.
She was supposed to drop him off.
Right.
Is there any reason why you live far away from each other?
About 30 minutes apart.
Okay, so that was the arrangement. She was going to drop him off.
Right.
And you don't remember the time?
I don't remember exact time.
Do you remember the time?
Our arranged time didn't work out for either one of us. So he told me to give him a call before we left, and that's what I did. I just called him and told him that we were going to be on our way. That was about 4:30.
Do you remember that conversation?
Yes.
Now you do. Okay, so now I'm coming back to you. So she said we're on our way, and it takes about 30 minutes to get there, which means that she should have gotten to your house at about 5 o'clock.
Right.
Did she get there at 5 o'clock?
Yeah.
And what were you going to do with your son for those 2 hours?
We just went and hung out, and I was going to take him to the park, but he wanted to shoot. I took him to shoot a BB gun.
Did you discuss that with his mother?
No, I sent her pictures of it, so she knew what was going on.
So you sent her a picture of him shooting a BB gun?
Yeah.
And where was your 12-year-old at the time?
He was right beside him shooting a BB gun.
And then you decided to take him home?
Yes.
But you decided to take him home a little early?
No. No.
No?
No.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Well, you say in your answer, I know I got that from someplace, she said, when I arrived, she was upset that I dropped him off early. No. That's what you said in your answer.
She said it was early, but it was way later.
What time did you drop him off?
I don't know. It was nighttime. I don't know exact time. I guess you can get that off the police.
So then I'm going to go back to her. What time did you get a call that he was...
After 6 already, telling me it was time to... that I needed to get home, that we were... It wasn't until about 7:30.
That's very confusing to me, what you just said. That was a mumble. What time did he call you to say he was leaving? Or
he was
text
messaging me from 6:30 on.
So from 6:30, and he had visitation for 2 hours.
I told him I would come pick him up at about 8:45.
Oh, so when you dropped him off, you said to him, I'll pick him up.
And I text messaged him also.
No, don't text. What was your initial arrangement? You see, what he says is you dropped him off so that he could have visit, but you really wanted to drop him off so that you would have some free time.
Yeah.
To have a date or whatever, which, Mr. Kelsey, is okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
Right? That's okay.
Right.
You're not together anymore. She can have a date, and you can be a babysitter.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, so I'm going to come back to you. Did you get the message from her, either verbally or by text, that she would pick him up at about 8:45?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. But I already had my day planned, and I had things to do, and I was supposed to be...
Just a second. What did you have to do?
Well, the agreement...
Not the agreement. What did you have to do?
I was helping somebody move that night. That ain't a good... Huh?
Huh is not an answer. What was the name of the person that... About what? Get on your phone and give me the number. Get on your phone and give me this Bob's number. Because I'm going to call Bob. And you know what I don't like?
What's that?
I don't like to get up from this bench and go back to the phone. If Bob isn't going to tell me, I don't know what he's talking about moving. I haven't moved.
You want me to call him, your son?
No, I'm going to call him.
Oh, okay.
Look at me. Mr. Kelsey.
And it was Bob.
Look at me.
Yes.
Say, I'm sorry, that was the wrong night. I wasn't helping anybody move.
I'm sorry, that was the wrong night.
Say to me, I'm sorry, that was the wrong night. I wasn't helping anybody move.
Why am I saying that?
Why? Because...
Okay, I'm sorry, that was the wrong night. I wasn't helping anybody move.
Okay.
So I don't understand why I'm saying that.
She was... Hey, I'm way ahead of you. I know exactly what it's all about. Put your phone away. Put it down now.
Okay.
I've been doing family court work for 40 years.
Have you?
I know exactly who you are, and I know exactly what... She is. She wanted an evening out. She has... How many children do you have?
One.
One, an 8-year-old. So, it'd be nice if the child was with his father for one night. She didn't have to worry about him. Maybe could have a date. And she said, and even though you were only supposed to have him, according to you, for 2 hours, I assume it's not a burden to have your 8-year-old son, sir?
No, it's not at all.
And you were out shooting BBs with him from 5 to 6. Did you give him dinner?
Yeah, he ate.
Yeah, just a second. It's not what I asked you.
I don't know. I wasn't sitting and watching the clock the whole time I had him.
Now I know exactly who you are.
Who?
I know exactly who you are.
You do.
So when she texted you and said, I'll pick him up at 8:45, which is what you agreed to, because she's got that on her phone, what did you say to her?
I said, that wasn't the agreement. You said 2 hours. I said, I'll be bringing him back. She didn't text me like that. She said, I'll be bringing him back when I'm done going out and partying. That's what she said.
She said she'll pick him up.
Huh?
Not you'll drop him off. She said she'll pick him up.
Yeah, she'll pick him up, but that wasn't the agreement.
I know it wasn't your agreement. I'm just trying to figure out, sir, why you think that spending an extra 2 hours with your son is a burden.
It wasn't a burden.
Then what was the trouble? If you were supposed to have him from 5 to 7, and she said, I'll pick him up, so you don't have to drive a half hour there and a half hour back, I'll pick him up from your house. I don't understand why you had a problem with that.
I didn't have a problem with it.
Then why did you take him home?
Well, because the 2 hour agreement was passed, and
then
I took him home like 3 hours later.
Just a second. We're not talking about agreement.
Okay.
Then if she said, I'll pick him up, why did you bring him home?
Because it was time for him to go home.
Okay, I got you. So I said, I got you. So what time did you get him home?
I thought it was almost around 9 o'clock.
No.
Okay.
Just a second. You thought it was 9. What time was it?
7:30.
Okay. So at 7, you seem to have a memory loss about the times in the evening, because that's exactly what it was. Because you said, I'm supposed to have him for 2 hours. Not more than 2 hours. 2 hours. And I'm not babysitting with him while you go out, while you have a good time, while you have somebody in your house. I'm not doing that. So I'm bringing him home at when we said in our agreement. Just for my own information, Mr. Kelsey, prior to October 2nd, when had you last spent time with your son?
Well, every time I go...
Shh. I need a date.
I don't know.
Prior to October 2nd.
Okay.
When had you spent time with him? That would be sometime in September. When in September?
September 31st. How about that?
Is that right?
It was about 2 years prior that he
2 years?
That you had taken him...
She's not...
That he had taken him and had some one-on-one time. He's talking about just swinging by.
I'm not talking about swinging by. I'm talking about...
I wanted him to have one-on-one time.
Just a second. Don't tell me what you wanted. You want a little time out. That's okay. You know, that's okay. That's fine.
These texts she's saying I'm sending, do you know, she gets on a text messaging app and makes these texts up.
I want to know when was the last time...
I've got my phone records.
When was
get the phone records.
I want to know when was the last time prior to October 2nd that you prepared dinner for your son at your house?
Prepared dinner for him at my house?
That's my question.
Her house either. She don't know how to cook.
Oh.
Okay.
I don't.
Very good. You want to... Now, I actually had enough with him. This is what your case is about. You allege that when he drove your son home at 7:30, there was a kerfuffle. You were annoyed that he brought him home at 7:30. He was annoyed because of him, whatever, and you allege that he scratched your car.
Yes.
I want you to tell me how that transpired.
So he was text messaging me, be home. I pulled up and I stayed out.
You pulled up where?
In front of my home.
So you come home and you pull up in front of your house.
Right. And I didn't even get out. I stayed in my vehicle because I figured Jackson had not eaten. So I was going to just take off after he dropped him off. So he comes speeding around the corner and slams on his brakes. Now we're, like nose to nose. And I get out of my vehicle to go to the passenger side to get Jackson out of the car. And he, at that time, exited his vehicle. So now we're, crossing paths. Jackson had fallen asleep. So I was waking him up. I look over and he's all leaned into my car. Ryan is. And I didn't know what he was getting. And most likely my phone, he takes things. I didn't. Lost them into the middle of the road and grabs my keys, and he gets out of my vehicle and tosses them as hard as he could into an empty lot.
Okay, so you threw his keys into the road, he threw your keys into an empty lot.
Correct.
So far, that's pretty consistent with what I read in both the complaint and the answer. Go ahead.
So I tell my son, baby, he's awake now, baby, go sit up on the porch. I had to get my keys to get the house key. I went towards the empty lot to find my keys, and Ryan was, yelling pretty derogatory terms to me, and I turn around, and that's when I saw him. He was coming around the passenger side front fender, and he gets something out of his pocket and did this motion like a knife, I thought, and he goes across my front driver's side.
Do you have pictures of your car?
I do.
I'd like to take a look at them. And I'd like to see the police report as well.
Okay, there's pictures, and there's the police report.
Did you ever file criminal charges?
He asked if I wanted to press
And you
charges,
said yes.
and I said yes.
And you said yes. Other than the contact, ever contacted by the police again?
No.
With regard to this?
No, she dropped the charges the next day.
No, I didn't.
Sure.
Oh, okay.
Show me.
Did she drop the charges?
Yeah.
How would I have that? The police?
Well, then you.
I never got a
then
warrant.
you don't know what happened.
Well, a warrant never came out for me.
That doesn't mean she dropped the charges, sir.
Well, she
I
told
mean,
me the next day she dropped the charges.
I did not.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
You are such a liar.
No.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today,
So as he coming to the car, I heard him say, I got something for you, I got something. So I already knew what he was talking about. So he get in the car so we can get away. So I just heard like maybe 2 or 3 gunshots. So I'm ducking, and he ducking, and we just got up out of it.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Tina Burke says ex-boyfriend Ryan Kelsey purposely scratched her car during an argument.
You are such a liar.
Then how come I never got charged for it?
Because they may have had other things to do than get in between you two idiots who had a fight in front of your 8-year-old.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
You have to pay for the scratches on the car, you fool.
Every time I go around her, there's a fight.
You fool.
Hey, would you like to see some of her text messages to me?
No, I don't
'Cause
want to see any text
I got
messages from her.
some
I
things
think
here
you're a
that'll
big
change your mind
baby.
about her.
I think you're a big baby. Judging for the
I wish
plaintiff
I
for
could
the
play a
amount
couple
of
of
549.
It's very difficult. It's very difficult. I wish
Every time there's drama like this.
my son didn't have to witness
And that's why I don't go around that much, because it always happens in front of him.
this kind of behavior from either one of us.
A bad one. Bad example.
He's out of his mind.
We just don't get along. We'll never get along.
An order of protection.
I guess maybe she needs mental help. I don't know.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter, Riddle versus Gast. Step forward.
23-year-old Tariq Riddle is suing his former roommate, Daryl Guest, for stealing his flat-screen TV and for borrowing his car and returning it riddled with bullet holes.
Mr. Gast, I'm going to start with you, sir. You and Mr. Riddle were roommates.
Yes, ma'am.
And November of this year, you asked to borrow his car.
Yes, ma'am.
Where were you going that you needed to borrow his car?
I was supposed to go to the store, which I did go to the store.
By yourself?
Yes, ma'am.
What time of the day?
It was around 7 o'clock.
What store did you tell him you were going to?
I supposed to go to Publix.
Is that what he told you?
He just said a store. He didn't say a specific store.
What kind of car did you have?
A 2004 Toyota Camry.
And you had no car?
No, ma'am, not right then.
So you borrowed his car about 7 o'clock, but you didn't go to the store. Where did you go?
I picked up my little brother.
How far did he live from where you live?
Maybe like 10 minutes. He told me that he'll give me some.
Well, you didn't have
gas
permission to do that. You only had permission to go to the store.
I mean, he said he had gas money. I ain't see nothing wrong with it.
Okay. And tell me what happened when you got to his girlfriend's house.
Went to his girlfriend's house. He got out. He knocked on the door. I'm guessing somebody else answered the door. They was getting into it because I was in the car the whole time. So I'm looking out my mirror. I'm like, what's going on? So I see them arguing. So
Who's arguing?
him and another guy.
Did you know the other guy?
No, I think he knew him.
You knew who he was.
Yes, ma'am.
Who was he?
I guess it was a girl that I was talking to, ex.
So it was the ex of the girl that you were going to visit.
Yes, ma'am.
Maybe not so much of an ex.
Yeah, probably.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I did bump into some, but like I said, I don't remember what I had. I mean, you know, I was in fear for my life. You probably will be in fear for your life, too. You ain't gonna remember everything.
Well, you wouldn't have been in this trouble, sir, if you went and got salami at Publix like you were supposed to.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Tariq Riddle says former roommate Daryl Guest stole his TV and borrowed his car.
So what happened next, Mr. Gast?
Like I said, I'm inside the car the whole time. They arguing. So I see him getting, like, real mad. So they...
Your brother?
Right, brother getting real... I can see both of them by their body language. So I get out the car, so I'm telling him, man, you need to come on, let's go, let's go. So as he
Smart.
Right. So as he coming to the car, I heard him say, "I got something for y'all. I got something for y'all." So I already knew what he was talking about. So he get in the car so we can get away. So I just heard like maybe 2 or 3 gunshots. So I'm ducking, and he ducking, and we just got up out of there.
This is what your lawsuit is about. He borrowed your car to go to Publix.
Yes, ma'am.
And you got back a car with holes in it.
Holes in it, a dent in the side, scuffs on both sides of both of the bumpers, and cracks in the windshields in 2 different spots. So that doesn't even...
Do you have pictures of the car?
Oh, yes, ma'am. I'm sorry. I do. These are printed pictures, and these are the actual pictures.
How did all the other damage happen to the car?
I really don't remember all that other stuff. I just remember us getting, like, I was in fear for my life. I don't know nothing about it.
Well, I see holes.
No, I don't know nothing about the rest of that stuff. Yeah.
Why didn't you go to the police?
I mean, I feel for retaliation of my brother, and, he said, when I came home and told him about it, he said he got...
He doesn't have insurance on a 2004 car. He doesn't have collision insurance.
Well, that's what he was saying.
Okay.
So I was like...
Well... This is...
I don't remember what I had. I mean, I was in fear for my life.
Do you have bills to fix the car?
Yes,
you would probably be in fear for your life, too, stuff like
what?
that. I said, you probably would be in fear for your life, too. You ain't gonna remember that.
Well, you wouldn't have been in this trouble, sir, if you went and got salami at Publix like you were supposed to.
Yeah.
Instead of getting involved in somebody else's business.
Oh, no, that wasn't none of my business. I stayed in the car the whole time like I told you.
It was your business.
Man,
you were supposed to go to Publix. You had permission
to... everybody do...
Listen.
No, I'm listening.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by...
Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
You had permission to borrow the car.
Yes, ma'am.
To go to Publix.
Right.
That's it. You took the car and you went someplace else where the car was placed in danger. If you stayed with what you were supposed to do, is that a fair statement? You weren't going to fight with anybody in Publix, were you?
Not that I think of.
What?
Not that I can think of.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $2,700. We're finished. Thank you.
Parties are excused and they step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
I was sitting in the car the whole time, That could have happened to anybody.
I got shot at and didn't say anything else about it.
Picked up my brother, took him to go see his girlfriend. He had to get something.
The dent on the side, I got 2 cracks in my windshield on the opposite side of the windshield. Like, how did that even happen?
It turned into a whole nother situation,
I mean, it's not like I want to fight you when I see you, but,
It was real frightening, man, but I'm still here to talk about it. That's the good thing about it. I'm still here.
Buy your own car.
She was telling me things like, I want to talk to you before I go to sleep.
He heard plenty of sweet talk while behind bars.
Did she come to visit you?
Yes, ma'am. She was like, well, could I put the cable bill in your name? We're going to move in together anyway when you get out.
But now this ex-con...
You're stuck with this cable bill.
...has a now ex-girlfriend.
Something happened along the lines with her and another guy.
Wrong. Don't say wrong.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Travis Conwell is suing his ex-girlfriend, Shabarbara Jackson, for an unpaid cable bill that's in his name and for the return of his clothes and tools.
Order. All rise. Yeah, it's case number 453 on the calendar in the matter of Conwell versus Jackson.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated.
Mr. Conwell, the defendant was your girlfriend prior to your being incarcerated for a period of time. According to your complaint, you agreed to allow her, while you were incarcerated, to put a cable set up in your name.
Yes, ma'am.
And according to you, the understanding was that she would take care of the bill, pay the bill out of her own funds.
Correct.
Well, that didn't happen.
It didn't.
And you're stuck with this cable bill.
Yes, ma'am.
In addition, you say that the hope that the two of you would live together when you came out of prison was part of the reason for putting this cable bill
This is correct.
in your name. But when you got out of jail, it didn't work out, and you have property at her house.
Yes, ma'am.
Miss Jackson says, well, you insisted that she wanted her to be able to send you things while you were in prison, and she did that over the internet.
Yep.
That's what she said. And you never had anything at her house. She's not a storage unit. She has nothing that belongs to you. She's counterclaiming for the items that she sent to you over the internet while you were in prison. She said she spent about $500, which I'm sure you can establish. Okay, before you went to jail, Mr. Conwell, how long were you and Miss Jackson involved, and were you living together?
Approximately 5 months.
And when were you incarcerated?
February 3rd, 2016.
To when?
Until August 2nd, 2016.
Did she come to visit you?
Yes, ma'am.
How often?
Every week until she got into an accident.
Now, when someone comes to visit you in prison, are they allowed to bring things for you?
No.
Are they allowed to go to the commissary and buy things?
Yes.
For you?
Yes.
Did she ever do that?
A couple of times she went to the kiosk that's located in the detention facility to put money on books at times. Other times she was ordering it over her phone.
And when she ordered it over the phone, did they deliver it to you in prison?
Yes, ma'am.
That's what happened? Okay, when she put money on the books, did you give her money, or did she just do it herself?
She did it herself.
How much money did she put on her book?
It was sporadic. It wasn't consistent.
Did you ever ask her to do that for you?
No, ma'am.
But she just did it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Tell me about this cable.
What happened with the cable bill, Your Honor, was around February, like when my initial incarceration month, me and Ms. Jackson was talking regularly on the phone, and she was expressing to me that she was stressed out because she was willing and she was yearning to return to school. So I began to ask her, what's keeping you from returning to school? She's saying it's classes that she has to take online. So I was like, well, why you can't take the online classes? And she was like, I can't get the internet through Comcast because my credit is bad. So I was like, well, how much longer she had in school, and this, that, and the third. And she was like, not too long. If she can get these online classes out of the way, it would pretty much speed her up with graduating. So I was like, well, okay, that's cool. So she was like, do you owe Comcast? I said, no, I don't owe them any money. She was like, well, could I put the Comcast bill in your name? It's like, I mean, we're going to move in together anyway. When you get out, you could just resume responsibility of the bill. You could pick it up when you get out, and I'll maintain it while you're in here. I said, no problem, as long as you pay it and our relation with each other is in good standing. She agreed to that. I agreed, and that's when she proceeded to establish the cable bill in her name.
Let me hear.
Wrong.
Just don't say wrong. Just tell me the story. It sounds to me that that's not how it happened.
When he was incarcerated, he asked me to send care packages. I tried to hook this inside-outside connection up on my phone, and I could not press send. I told him this when I went to visit him. I tried to hook it up, but I couldn't press send. I need to do it from a computer. I don't have internet. I've been living in my house for over a year and some change. Never had internet, never had cable. It wasn't important to me. He told me, well, look, go get internet in my name so you can send me these packages. And I said, okay, cool, and I can also go to school. This is how this came about. I set the internet up, and he began getting these packages that he told me if I send them to him when he got his income tax money, I could just keep the income tax money to pay back for all these packages. So he started telling me what he wanted and having me to accept all these phone calls, and all this supposed to came back with his income tax money, and it never happened.
Okay. Do you have a list of items that you sent him on just look at me. Do you have a list of items that you sent him while he was incarcerated from February to August?
You want me to give it to you?
Mm-hmm.
Those aren't all of them, but those.
Pepperoni pizza, is that what she sent you?
Yes, ma'am.
So it looks as if she sent you 3 pizzas.
Yes, ma'am.
That's what I have here, 3 pizzas. What else?
And the phone calls I took for him to talk to his family members. I have proof.
I'm going to take a look at it. And that was from the internet?
Phone calls that I had to pay for him to speak to other people.
How did you pay for it?
With my debit card.
Where?
Over the phone. An automatic service calls you and asks you for your card number, and I put my card number in to accept
Did she put money in some sort of a system so that you could make phone calls?
It's a system in the detention center called Securus, and what the outside people do, you don't call this system, you set it up online, and you go and you prepay for the inmate to be able to call you in a allotted amount of times.
Okay, so my question is, you look as if you made a lot of phone calls in February.
Right.
Did you ever pay her back any money for this?
No, ma'am, because she wanted to talk to me. She said, she was telling me things like, I want to talk to you before I go to sleep, and when I get off work. This is not my first rodeo. When I get into these situations illegally, I'd rather just become a hermit and deal with my time on my own. But because this time I was dealing with the gift packages and the visits and the money on the phone so I can call her.
Everything is asked. I didn't do nothing on my own.
I didn't ask you.
Okay. All together, all the bills that you have, and now your desk is clear,
yes,
is $314. Mm-hmm. Okay. How much is the internet bill?
I don't know.
The internet bill, Your Honor, is $205.51.
205.
And 51 cents.
Close enough, because I'm sure some of these phone calls were to you, right?
No.
None of these phone calls, but he never called you?
I didn't print off none of them ones
that
was personal.
He never called you, is what I'm saying.
Yes, he called me.
And when he called you, what account did he use?
He used that one.
That's what I'm talking about. Good. So 205, 314, close enough. Now, what clothes do you say you have at her house?
When I was staying at her house, I'm an electrician apprentice, and I had tools at her house. I had just purchased 2 custom pairs of shoes from Virginia that I had left at her house. And the situation was, when I was to get out on the 2nd of August, if everything was going the way it's supposed to, I was supposed to resume residence with Miss Jackson. But something happened along the lines with her and another guy, and I was like, well, there's no need for me to even come back and deal with you. Just let me get my things.
Okay. Tools.
I didn't agree to store nothing.
What? That's not what I asked you.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
He had a whole bag of tools. I don't know what they are.
What did you do with them? Don't make.
I moved.
Try not to make things up as you go.
I'm not.
And later today.
What's next?
Graphics for my CD cover.
How do you have graphics for a CD cover when you didn't make an album?
I made a single.
Well, that's not what they're talking about in here. What's next?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Travis Conwell says ex-girlfriend Shabarbara Jackson owes for a cable bill and the return of his belongings. Shabarbara is countersuing for money owed and harassment.
Okay, tools.
I didn't agree to store nothing.
What? That's not what I asked you. I didn't ask you whether you agreed to...
I have a drill at my house. That's it.
Let's be very, very clear before we resolve your counterclaim. Do you understand?
Yes.
You have a drill.
Yes.
What else?
That's it.
What else did you buy other than a drill? Don't go like this.
Your Honor, I had a pair of custom Timberland boots.
I'm not talking about shoes. We're talking tools.
Crescent wrenches. I've had levels. Crescent wrenches, levels.
Crescent wrenches.
Right.
I don't know. I don't have them.
What do you mean you don't have
them? The drill was in my bedroom.
That he purchased?
Yes.
Where is it now?
It's in my bedroom.
Okay, when he purchased the drill, he also purchased some other tools.
He had a whole bag of tools. I don't know what they are. I don't have them.
Well, he has a whole bag of tools. What did you do with them? Don't make.
I moved.
Try not to make things up as you go.
I'm not. I moved. I don't
so
have
you
them.
moved. Just a second. So you moved. When did you move?
I moved in October.
And so this drill you decided to take with you, because you said to me it's in my bedroom.
In my room. Yeah.
But not the bag of tools.
No.
What did you do with them?
I guess they were left.
What?
I said, I guess they were left.
When he came out of prison in August and you weren't going to be involved any longer, did he ask you for the tools?
No.
Never asked you for the
He
tools?
did not ask me for no tools, no.
Is that right?
That's incorrect.
When did you ask
I made several attempts when I got out of jail to communicate with Ms. Jackson to get my tools, because this is how I earn a living.
Just a second. And what happened?
She was unresponsive, shooting me to the voicemail, not answering the phone. Then she eventually changed her phone number.
Because he wouldn't stop calling my phone.
I needed my tools.
That's not why he was calling my phone.
Lies.
Do you have any bills for these tools?
No, Your Honor, I do not, but I have an estimate of the drill I repurchased.
The drill?
Yes.
The drill she's going to give you back. It's in your house?
Yes.
Good. The drill goes back to the plaintiff. How much was it, by the way?
The drill was $239.
Very good. And the pizzas and the cable bill sort of play each other off. You get your drill back, I'll prepare the order. We're done. Thank you.
Parties are excused and they step out.
I think she did she ruled fairly.
It was way more than just 3 pizzas I sent him.
Trust myself and move on forward.
Don't help people out. Don't believe them when they say they'll pay you back, because they probably won't.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Regions versus Starks Higgins. Step forward.
Aquisha Regans is suing her former business partners, Andre Higgins and Herman Starks, for breach of contract, defamation of character, and death threats.
Ms. Regans, you are a singer and the defendants are managers and promoters. And it is your claim that they breached your contract
Yes.
that they had with you. Mr. Starks and Mr. Higgins are counterclaiming because they say that they not only didn't they breach your contract, but that you have defamed them someplace. And I'm certain that they're going to be able to demonstrate that to me, even though they have no witnesses. So, would you first show me the contract that you're complaining about? Contract is about a year old?
Yes.
And specifically, what clause are you complaining about of this contract?
A breach of contract.
What clause of the contract?
They wasn't able to pay their share, their revenue, their half.
What revenue? What specific?
They were supposed to pay half on everything. They didn't pay half on anything. I was paying for everything.
Okay. This is under the term of the agreement. It says under this term, the artist known as Lyrical Lips shall be an equal partner under this agreement, and it shall be understood that there is a 50-50 split on all costs, and there is a 50-50 split on all proceeds earned. Okay, so we are agreed that there were never any proceeds. Is that correct?
Right.
We also agreed that there was never a recording made.
Right.
Was there a recording made? When?
It was made in April.
Was that an album that was produced?
It was a song.
Under this term, which is under the same thing, it says there will be 3 album minimum to satisfy the agreement made with the company and to you. So there was no album completed. There was a song.
Yes.
That you paid to have produced.
Yes, $40.
And what other expense did you have in producing this song?
For this song?
Well, I want to know what you're suing them for.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
They were supposed to pay me for my performance at the college.
Tell me what you paid.
I paid $50, and they're supposed to pay $25.
You were given 5 tickets to sell at $10 each.
I gave them some.
What else? So far, I'm getting annoyed with you.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Aquisha Regans says former business partners Andre Higgins and Herman Starks breached their contract, defamed her, and threatened her life. The defendants have a countersuit, also for defamation.
Now, what other expense did you have in producing this song?
For this song?
Well, I want to know what you're suing them for.
I'm suing him for a photo shoot that I had done.
Just a second. You did a photo shoot at whose request?
At Andre Higgins' request.
Tell me about the photo shoot that you did at his request.
He set up a photo shoot, and I was supposed to pay for my makeup, hair. He never paid for my pictures. I never received them.
Did you pay for the pictures?
Yes, ma'am.
And you have proof that you paid for them?
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to see it. What else? They paid for the photo shoot.
I never knew about that.
Well, they did. What other expenses did you have?
A show with the radio show.
What does that mean, a show with
a radio show where you come on and you talk, and you have to pay for radio spins, and I had to pay for a show to perform. They didn't pay their half.
Show me what you paid. This is nothing. That's nonsense. What's next?
Graphics for my CD cover.
How do you have graphics for a CD cover when you didn't make an album?
I made a single.
Well, that's not what they're talking about in here. What's next?
Basically, studio time.
Well, that's $40.
My shows.
Just a second. That's $40. So their half is $20.
Yes.
Did you pay your half of the studio time?
Actually, man, we paid the balance. The balance of the studio time was $200.
Do you just have proof that you paid
Yes,
any
ma'am.
studio time?
Yes, ma'am.
She
Not
paid
true, Your Honor.
$40.
That's
May
not
I see?
true. Wow. It's not true. He didn't even show up for that.
I mean,
There's
it's
a lot to
absolutely
his
outrageous.
story. They're lying. That's not true what he's saying.
Listen to me. So far, I believe that you paid $40 in studio time. I have $20 that they owe you. What else?
I paid for studio time, video, my show. I performed. They were supposed to pay me for my performance at the college. It's right here on the contract.
That they're supposed to pay for your performance?
They were supposed to pay me half on everything.
Just a second. Did you pay for anything at the college? Is it an
Yes,
expense?
I paid for the show.
Tell me what you paid.
I paid $50, and they're supposed to pay $25.
Show me. You were given 5 tickets to sell at $10 each.
I gave them some of the tickets.
What else? So far, I'm getting annoyed with you.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by.
Are you the victim of a scam? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
What else? So far, I'm getting annoyed with you.
Defamation of character, Your Honor.
You don't have defamation of character.
I mean, it's a lot to the story.
I don't want to hear a lot to the story. It didn't initiate this contract and declare it null and void? Is that what you want to do?
I want him not to be able to use any of my likeness, and I would like to be reimbursed for this whole year that he didn't do anything he told me he would do.
No. You're going to get $20, which is so far what he owes you.
It's not $20, Your Honor.
That's all it is.
I have more receipts.
Now, I'm back at you for the counterclaim. You want to show me something that she published about your company.
Actually, she posted on Facebook.
Show me.
Here.
Can I show my Facebook post also that he posted to make me post that?
I'm going to see what it is.
Okay.
Where she bragged on the...
I'm going to read it.
Okay.
I'm done with this case. We're finished. Your case is dismissed with the exception of a $20 bill that he owes you. We're done.
Step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
They didn't pay for anything.
This is a bad case of an artist with no talent.
They did so much damage. It was trying to defame my character.
Who can fake it till you make it.
He said all my music sucks, but he found me because of my music.
You need talent in this business, most definitely.
She was mad at me.
Because?
Actually, not real sure.
And their fight got political.
She committed voter fraud, and I was very upset with that.
That is not true.
You said, I have your ballot filled out. I'm going to put it in at the polls. How could you vote for her?
I had filled it out for her if she wanted to change something.
No.
Judge Judy. You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Wendy Whitaker is suing her former foster child, 20-year-old Ashlyn Parenteau, for the return of belongings she stole from her home.
Order. All rise. Yeah, it's case number 432 on the calendar in the matter of Whitaker versus Parenteau.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Ma'am, have a seat, please.
Miss Whitaker, the defendant was a foster child in your home for many years, on and off. According to your complaint, at some point you invited her or asked her if she would house sit for you. You were going away for a couple of days.
Correct.
Immediately prior to that, she had not been in your home.
Correct.
She came back to your home to house sit, and according to you, she took some property that didn't belong to her. That's what you're suing her for. And she has a counterclaim. She said that you changed the locks on the doors and she was unable to get some other property that she has in your house, which you'll tell me about. Just for informational purposes, how old was Miss Parenteau when she came to live with you for the first time?
16.
And how long did she stay?
She was there for a short period of time, and then she was placed somewhere else, and then has come back several times.
Why is that?
She was placed somewhere else because she was in my home and wanted to return to her previous home to take care of the dog. And I did that, and they were in disagreement of that choice.
Now, explain that. So she was in your home when she was 16, but she had a dog in her previous foster home that she liked?
No, in her biological home.
With whom?
My biological mother.
And you went back to that home?
Yes, I only went there for a few hours to feed the dog because she was in jail and no one else was there to take care of the animal.
So you didn't go back there to live?
No.
Oh, that's what I'm trying to understand. So you went back there just to take care of the dog?
Yes.
For a couple of hours. And you didn't like that?
No, it was not me that did not like
Who
it. The
didn't like
county
that?
did not like that.
So what happened?
After I discussed what happened, they questioned me. They took her from my home, and she was placed in several other homes after that. I fought to get her back.
The second time I was taken out of her home, she committed...
That's not true.
That was the second time. The first time was because?
The first time was because I went to my house to feed the dog.
With her permission?
Yes, she took me over there.
Okay, so that's the first time. Second time, you say because of some sort of investigation that was being done. Were you the only foster child in the house?
No.
How many foster children were there?
There were about 4 at the time that I moved in.
How many foster children did you have at one time in the last 5 years?
For the last 5 years, I've had 3.
For long periods of time?
Yes.
Do you work outside the home?
Yes.
At what?
I do a lot of volunteer work, as well as I've been in internships with my union.
I asked you if you worked for money outside the home other than for home.
Yes, for a union.
What union?
SEIU 2015.
What do you do for them?
I've done a lot of internships. They are programs that last X amount of time, and I learn new things.
How do you get that job? I'm serious. How do you get that job? So far, you do a lot of volunteer work. You have 3 foster children. You do a lot of internships. Internships really usually mean you're working to go towards something.
Correct.
So how did you get into this union? You have a brother, a sister, a cousin, an aunt, an uncle?
No, the county has that through one of my foster children.
And for my own informational purposes, how much money did you receive each month from Miss Parentu?
At the end of her stay...
Let's start at the beginning of her stay.
The beginning of her stay, I was in an agency, and it was $1,009.
And at the end?
I was a non-relative placement for $859.
Prior to house sitting for you, when was the last time the defendant lived in your home?
The beginning of October, I believe.
For how long?
She had been there for a little over a year and a half.
And what caused her to leave?
She was mad at me.
She got angry with you?
Yes. And
just a second, because?
Actually, not real sure. She left a note for me.
You want to tell me why you were angry? She's not real sure?
I never left any note. She committed voter fraud, and I was very upset with that, so I
So you left in November?
Yes.
That is not true.
Did you get an absentee ballot?
No, I did not. I got a provisional ballot. She actually switched my voting thing to a mail-in ballot and never told me about it. She never told me about it, and I went to the voter place, and they said that I was a mail-in voter and that I had already turned in my voting thing. So right here, I asked if she had filled out my mail ballot, and right here it states, I have your ballot filled out, and I'm going to put it in at the polls.
So this is a text message from her?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. You asked her, did you fill out and mail my ballot, or should I go in to vote today?
Exactly, because when I went in there, they had told me that I turned it in, so I just wanted to see if she was the one that did it.
I got it, because I see the time. And then she wrote back practically immediately, yes, I have your ballot filled out, and I voted. I voted for the pot thing on mine as well as yours. How could you vote for her?
I didn't. I filled it out in pencil, and it was sitting on the table. I had filled it out for her if she wanted to change something.
No. You said, I have your ballot filled out. I'm going to put it in at the polls. That's what you say.
I meant she
I don't care what you meant.
I didn't. I did not put them in. I'd never turned it in. It was sitting on the table for 2 weeks after the date. I was working the whole day of
I don't believe you.
Vote. Okay.
I don't believe you.
Okay.
That's where we're starting, that I don't believe you. And that's why
proof.
she moved it. No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
Oh, let's see it.
You have proof? Be very careful.
Yes.
Who are you?
I'm her friend, Diane Townsend.
Do you live with her?
No, but we're very close. We see each other daily.
How could she see you daily if she's so busy with her volunteer?
Parent, and we have brothers and sisters in tune with each other.
Go.
And I saw the ballot filled out in pencil on her table from the time couple weeks ahead of time before the voting until after the voting, and it was still
Sit
sitting
down. I don't
there.
believe a word you're saying.
Okay.
It's true.
So that's why you moved out.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
She left
And you moved.
before that date. She left before that date. Sorry.
Well, then I'm reading the rest of these things. The rest of your text to her. She said to you, no, I don't do the pot thing. When you say I voted for the pot thing on mine as well as yours. That's what you said to her. She said, I don't do the pot thing. And you say to her, you're not registered to vote there, so it won't count. I turned it in already. That's on November 8th. I turned it in already, so you don't want to legalize pot in SB. I don't know what that means.
San Bernardino.
Yeah.
She's an avid pot smoker.
You see what? I don't believe you, and I don't believe you. Isn't that embarrassing that you swore for her? Isn't it embarrassing to you that you swore for her?
It never got turned in,
I'm
ma'am.
speaking.
Okay.
She said you're not registered to vote there, so it won't count. I turned it in already.
Got mad at her.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Is that Galaxy phone, does that have your phone number on it or hers?
I'm not
All
sure
I have to do is
understand.
call.
I'm not. Yes, it'll ring. Yes.
It'll ring in whose hand?
Hers, but it belongs to me.
Forget it.
And later today,
I would never stand on a bed to turn on a fan. And if you do, and if you fall, then it's your fault. You can't blame somebody else. And how old is your mom?
She's 83.
I'm younger than your mom, and I wouldn't stand on a bed.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Wendy Whitaker says former foster child Ashlyn Parenteau stole belongings from her home. Ashlyn has a countersuit for belongings, including her rabbits and damages from voter fraud.
Okay, what stuff does she have? What stuff does she have?
I have a list right here.
Just stay back there.
Okay, sorry, I keep doing that.
You're at a house every day. Do you ever see rabbits?
Yes, they're in the back.
I have pictures too.
Where did you get a sewing machine from?
I got it from her, actually. She got it for me.
As a gift?
Yes.
When? Where is it?
Probably in the garage, possibly.
Do you have her rabbits?
Yes, I do. And I've repeatedly asked her to come get them.
Great. Do you want your rabbits?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Do you want your sewing machine?
Yes, I do.
Okay, you're going to go pick those things up. Do you have any of her clothes?
Anything that she left in her room is bagged up, yes.
Okay. She's going to come and pick up all of her things within 5 days with, with an escort. That will be prepared as an order. That takes care of your counterclaim.
Thank you.
Now, I want you to list for me what items you are alleging that she took from your house when she came to house sit.
An Xbox 360.
Xbox?
Yes, Your Honor.
You took it?
Yeah. It's
Why?
my belongings. She gave it to me for Christmas about 3 years ago.
Did you give her the Xbox 3 years ago?
It was bought 2 years ago, and she wasn't even placed in my home at that time, and I do have the receipt for it.
I'd like to see it.
Okay. There it is. That's the original, that's the copy.
Actually, she's correct. You purchased it 3 years ago, right before Christmas.
Correct.
The Xbox is hers. What's next?
But she was not in my home.
What's next?
She was not in my home.
What's
I have
next?
proof that she
What's
was not in my home.
What's next? You didn't buy it 2 years ago. You bought it 3 years ago, November 28th.
She was not placed in my home then.
Let us move on. What's next?
All right. The 2 controllers that went with it.
Next.
All the leather working tools and all the leather.
Just a second. Leather working tools.
Mm-hmm.
Who does leather working? You do.
Mm-hmm.
Did you take the leather working tools?
She bought them for me at Tandy Leather because I'm in cosplay, and she got it so that I can work on something for my cosplay.
I have some questions for you. In your home, do you have any silver products, sterling silver, frames?
Not solid silver, but yes.
Valuable?
No. All of that's been stolen.
And don't keep cash in the house?
No.
You like your cats and dogs?
Dogs, yes.
Dogs?
Mm-hmm.
What kind of dogs do you have?
English bulldogs.
How many?
3.
She didn't take those?
No.
She didn't take your living room set, dining room set?
She had
didn't
no
take
means
chairs,
to take any
didn't
of
take
that.
chairs, tables, anything else, and no extra jewelry that was lying around?
There was none.
No. So she took leather tools and an Xbox. What else?
She took the Galaxy phone that I'm paying for, that I had paid off.
You mean a cell phone?
that I am still paying for.
Just a second. Is that Galaxy phone, does that have your phone number on it or hers?
It is mine.
Don't show me a receipt. All I have to do is call.
I'm not, yes, it ring, yes. It was hers, but it belongs to me.
Forget it. What's next?
No, I'm not going to forget it.
Oh, yes, you are. So far, we're forgetting it. Next.
It's on my plan.
Next.
I'm paying for it.
Next.
I want the house keys back from my house.
Do you have the house keys?
I gave them to her. She changed the locks. They were left.
That is not true.
They were left on the bench in the front porch.
That is not true.
Next.
Okay, the Samsung tablet.
That was a birthday gift for me last year.
That was a birthday gift?
Yes.
On what date is your birthday?
August 6th.
I'd like to see the receipt.
You have it photocopied, but I'll give you the original.
I'd like to see the receipt. Bird, where is it? Where do I find the date here?
6/9/2016.
June 9th. June 9th. That's not even close to your birthday.
She got it for me before, probably. I wasn't there when she got it.
I don't care.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today,
My mother is laying on the ground. I just wanted to get her up.
So she was lucky because, as a very famous gerontologist once said, if you want to live to be a nice, ripe, old age, I only have 2 words for you. Don't fall.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Ashlyn Parenteau stole belongings from her home. Ashlyn has a countersuit for belongings, including her rabbits and damages from voter fraud.
Okay, give her back the tablet when you come and get the rest of your things. Do you understand?
Yes.
What's next?
My hairdressing shears?
Do you have hairdressing shears in your possession?
No.
No. Did you take them from the house?
No.
Next.
My professional blemish extractor.
Let's go.
That's it.
That's it. Okay, so when you come to get your clothes, you bring her back the tablet. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Very good, very good. We're done here. Thank you.
All right. Can I shut the cell phone off?
We're done.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
She's desperate.
Well, I think she made a very good decision.
Miss Parenteau is an avid liar, but I love her.
It hurts my feelings that she said that.
I love her, and hopefully this teaches her a lesson that when she takes things, I mean business.
More than likely, I'll probably speak to her.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Clark versus Lewis. Step forward.
Christopher Clark is suing Michael Lewis and his mother, Joyce Lewis, for damage to his vacation rental home. The defendants are countersuing for pain and suffering.
This is actually an interesting case. You could sit down, please. Mr. Clark, you own a condo that you, Lewis, rented that condo for how many days and when?
6 days from July 2nd through the 8th, I believe it was.
And who was going?
Myself, my mother Joyce, and my daughter Kylie.
How many bedrooms does the condo have?
2 bedrooms.
Had you seen it online?
I'd seen several of them online. I stay there every year. I had not seen this one online.
This is the story. Mr. Lewis's mother was sharing one of the bedrooms with his daughter, and sometime during the night, she wanted to increase the fan. Either she didn't see or there was not a mechanism on the wall to increase the speed of the fan. Is her last name Lewis?
Yes.
So Mrs. Lewis stood up on the bed in order to reach the fan and pull the cord to see if that would work. And she fell, and she broke a wall of mirrors in the bedroom. You want her to pay for the wall, well, not her, but Mr. Lewis, who is the responsible party because he rented the condo, for the damage that his mother did during that fall. It's an easy case. Mr. Lewis says it's your fault. He's counterclaiming for $3,000 for pain and suffering because his mother fell trying to turn on the fan. That's actually ridiculous.
Okay.
Even your mother knows it's ridiculous if she was thinking. You're an intelligent woman, right? And if you do, and if you fall, then it's your fault. You can't blame somebody else. You have a different theory?
I do. She had no other option except to get on the bed to turn on the fan, Your Honor.
Yes, she does. She comes into you and say, you know what? What's your first name?
Michael.
Michael, I want to turn the fan on. Was there air conditioning in the bedroom?
Yes.
Even though there's air conditioning, I like the fan going around. I like the air circulated. Michael, but I like the fan. And how old is your mom?
She's 83.
And you're a lot younger. So would you see if you could turn the fan on? I'm younger than your mom, and I wouldn't stand on a bed. Because you say she stood on the bed and the mattress was so old, it was sagging, and that caused her to lose her balance. That's her fault. And if it's her fault, and if the property was broken as a result of that, then it's your responsibility to fix it. Common sense.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by... Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
You have pictures of the wall, please?
Yes,
and then...
ma'am. This is before. This is the mirror. And then this is the after.
Just for my own information, not that it's particularly relevant, but I would just like to know, is there a switch to turn this fan on a wall?
No, ma'am, it's just on the fan.
Okay, I would get rid of that. But it doesn't look smart. I mean, you can put a ladder up there and put it on if you like.
Well, actually, if Michael had went in and adjusted, he could have reached it. With his height, I can reach it. It's just, I guess she was so small and all that, it was hard for her to...
So you can reach it?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
By the way, Mr. Lewis?
Yes.
I'm sure that at some point, you then went in to see if you could, in fact, pull the string.
I never did go in to see if I could actually reach it. No, I did not, Your Honor.
Why?
It was the last thing on my mind. I went in. My mother was laying on the ground. I just wanted to get her up off the ground.
She was okay. She wasn't hospitalized.
She did not go to the hospital.
So she was lucky, very lucky.
Yes.
Because as a very famous gerontologist once said, if you want to live it to be a nice, ripe old age, I only have 2 words for you. Don't fall. How much is the mirror to fix?
$540.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $540. We're finished. Thank you.
Judge Steve, you may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And
she knows the best.
I just wanted to get the mirror fixed. I was glad she wasn't hurt, though.
I'm just glad she's okay.
He said, what can I do to fix this? And I got him an estimate, and from that point forward, it was like I could never get him to commit to anything.
I'll definitely look around and see what's safe and what isn't safe.
I'm just glad I was on Judge Judy.
There was no power, period.
Correct.
She couldn't move in.
Her new rental was far from ready. It was going to take approximately 2 weeks for them to get the new line in there.
Somebody had stolen the water heater and stripped the copper piping away from the house.
And she lost more than her money.
Did you ever live in this house?
No, I did not live in the house, Your Honor. Today, as we leave, we go back home to no home.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Jada Hunt is suing her former landlord-to-be, James Stacy Jr., for the return of rent and emotional distress.
Order. All rise. Yes, case number 438 on the calendar, the matter of Hunt versus Stacy.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated.
Of last year, you paid to the defendant $600 in November and another $600 in December.
Yes, ma'am.
And that was for a house that you were renting from him.
Yes, ma'am.
You don't deny that.
No, ma'am.
And you couldn't move into the house because there was no electricity in the house. And there was no electricity in the house, not because it just had to be turned on by a current tenant, but because there was no power, period.
Correct.
And you want your money back.
Yes.
And what's the issue?
The problem, Your Honor, is from the previous tenant, there was a security block on the house because in the city of Detroit, they have a problem with people stealing power from the city. So what they did was they removed the electricity line from the house. I was not made aware of this until Ms. Hunt brought it to my attention on December 3rd.
So?
After she brought it to my attention, they told me that I had to present some paperwork and send it in to the energy company. I sent in all of the paperwork that they had requested for me to send in proof of the deed, send in proof that we had a tenant there staying previously, send in...
I got the fact that you did whatever you were supposed to do.
Yes, I did all of that. I told Ms. Hunt that it was going to take approximately 2 weeks for them to get the new line in there and for them to do their investigation.
When was the electricity finally put on in the house?
The block was removed on December 21st.
So she couldn't move in.
Correct.
She gets her money back. Now your house is able to be rented. Did you rent it to somebody else?
No, ma'am.
Why not?
Because I didn't know what they were going to do. Because of the simple fact, I talked to her mother. Her mother said that it was okay. They was going to...
Don't tell me what her mother said. According to you, she put the keys in the mailbox. On what date?
She claimed that she put it in there on December 26th, but when I went and checked the house, there was no keys or anything at that house.
Did you ever live in this house?
No, I did not live in the house, Your Honor.
Which mailbox did you leave the keys in?
At the home he was supposed to rent out to me.
On what date?
On December 26th, around the time he said it's correct, Your Honor.
Okay. And you have any proof from the city that there was electricity on that date?
Yes, ma'am. I had emails.
I'd like to see them. Miss Hunt, did you finally find another place to stay?
No, I do not, Your Honor. Today, as we leave from Los Angeles, we go back home to no home.
Have you been to the house, sir? We're now in February. Were you in the house in January?
Yes.
Did you have the electricity turned on?
As of right now, the electricity is... The block is removed and electricity...
No, I asked...
Now, yeah.
In whose name?
I turned it on in the company name that we have.
Do you have any proof that the electricity is turned on?
No, I don't have proof.
Now, when you went to the house on December 25th, according to your countersuit, you have no proof of who took this, but somebody had stolen the water heater and stripped the copper piping away from the house, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So, did you put it back?
Yes, we were able to get the copper pipes replaced with PEX piping. The water line, service line was cut. All the copper pipes were stripped. The hot water tank was removed from out of there. 2 windows was broken. We had feminine products poured down the toilet. So we had to replace all of that.
All I'm asking you is, did you fix the house?
Yes.
Show me proof. I'm going to ask a question. It's just a question. She's homeless. If you fix the house, maybe she wants to rent it.
I have proof, Your Honor.
When did you buy this home?
We bought it in 2014 of December.
Did you buy it at an auction?
Yes, ma'am.
How much did you pay for it?
That particular house, it cost $8,000.
And the tenant that you had lived there until when?
I want to say until March, and then when we rented it out the last time, the last tenant was there for a year.
And that was the tenant that didn't pay the electricity?
Yes.
Got it. They also made a mess of the house. I'm just going to ask you one question. He says he's renovated the house. There are some bills here that indicate that he put in a rebuilt water line, rebuilt hot water tank, and replaced the PVC pipes and snaked all the drains. So there's some evidence here that they've made repairs to the house. Do you want to see if the house is still something that you want?
No, ma'am.
No. Okay, good. She gets her money back. The house wasn't ready for her. $1,200 is what you paid. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Judgment for the plaintiff.
Your Honor,
We're done.
I still have a countersuit because...
You have no proof in your counterclaim.
I have phone records proving that I called DTE. She stated that I lied and did not call DTE numerous times when we did. She called me 14 times. I had phone records proving
About
that.
what?
Proving that we called DTE. It wasn't our fault.
It was your fault.
If the security block was from
It's
the previous...
your fault.
How is it my fault?
It's your fault. It's your house. You can't rent a house that's not inhabitable.
There's no way for us to detect. She brought it to my attention.
Listen to me.
He rented out.
Shh. You can't rent a house that's not habitable, and it can't be inhabited without electricity. And she had no way of putting on the... I know that you're going to argue with me. You can't argue. You as a landlord cannot rent a house that's uninhabitable. And a house is uninhabitable when it has no electricity. She can't cure the problem. Only you and your company can cure the problem. But you contracted with her for her to go into the house on the 1st of December. You didn't make this house habitable, according to you, until the end of December. You can't say, well, she signed a lease. She can't sign a lease to a non-existent house. And for all of intents and purposes, this house was non-existent for her. She couldn't move in. What?
Well, my only argument, Your Honor, is that she brought it to my attention. And on December 3rd, she knew that the security block was on there. She brought it to my attention, and she said that she would wait the time because she was getting ready to go on labor.
She changed her mind. And you had to get it fixed anyway, because your last tenant probably stripped the piping in addition to not taking care of the electricity bills. So she gets her $1,200 back and your counterclaim's dismissed. We're finished.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I didn't know at first when I first went to give him the money, the lights, gas, water, everything was on.
It was no power. In the city of Detroit, you don't leave power on because squatters will go in there, they live for free.
I wanted the home, so I would have never damaged.
Ready to move in, it's just that.
I'm very happy that he got exposed to it.
The only setback was the electricity.
He done to me and my daughter, so I'm very happy.
But at the end of the day, she's the judge.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Hintzman versus Uranga. Step forward.
Tammy Hintzman is suing her former landlord, Elena Uranga, for the return of her security deposit and rent.
Miss Hintzman.
Yes, ma'am.
Describe the house that you were renting.
I was renting an approximate 1,300 square foot beach house in Oceanside, California.
That belonged to you?
Yes.
How long have you owned it?
2 years.
Did you buy it to use it as a business?
Yes.
As a rental business. Did you ever live in it yourself?
No.
The first year that you bought it, did you have a tenant?
No.
Why?
Because when we bought it, we were remodeling, and so there was no tenants whatsoever.
What did you do to remodel?
There was change the floors, new counters, the whole bathroom was changed, landscape, drip irrigation, outside painting.
Got it. And in what month did your lease begin?
December 7th, 2015.
And it was a one-year lease?
Yes, ma'am.
You left a month early?
Correct.
And you want your security deposit back?
Correct.
Ms. Uranga says you're not entitled to your security, and she used the security deposit for that month's rent. Ms. Hintzman, your defense to that is that the house had rats.
Yes.
And because the house had rats, it was unsafe.
Uninhabitable, yes.
When did you begin to notice that there was a rat infestation problem?
Approximately August 29th of 2016, I woke up and there was a hole about the size of a Dixie cup in my ceiling over my dining room table. I wasn't really sure what it was, so I called my landlady and told them about the hole, and they said they would come over and fix it. And then I started hearing scratching noises up in the attic.
And?
And I called to let them know, and I was told that hiring an exterminator or pests was in my lease for me to take care of out of my own pocket.
Do you have the lease? I'd like to take a look at it.
It's in yellow.
Well, so it's clear. Section 15 of your lease says pest control, and you would consider rats a pest. I mean, they're not pets, right?
Correct.
Shall be the responsibility of the tenant. Okay, so?
So I hired an exterminator, $300. He came to my home on September 7th. He set some traps up in the attic, I believe 5 or 6 traps, and caught and killed 6 rats. Before the exterminator came, however, the landlord set 1 trap, and they did catch a rat, too, so 7 total.
So far, is that correct?
Yeah, I didn't know that they actually caught the rats, but I believe her. Yes.
Of course. Okay, so that's August, September, October.
Yes, and then in the beginning of October, I was still hearing the scratching going around up in the attic. I was going to my laundry room, and I actually saw a rat in my kitchen. He scurried into the cupboard. So the exterminator had recommended plugging up a lot of holes. It's an old, cute beach house, so there's, under pipes, under sinks in the laundry room. He recommended putting wood up on any of the open areas and filling the holes with, like, a foam. So my landlord did come over, filled up with foam. There was never wood put up in the laundry room. There were 3 areas under the front of the house where the grates had come off, and after a week he did patch those up because the exterminator thought perhaps the rats were gaining entrance there.
And
I still had the scratching noises. I still had holes in the ceiling that the landlord had to repair a couple times.
What was the last month?
October of 16.
So that was the last time that you had an exterminator there?
Yes, ma'am.
And your lease wasn't up until?
December 8th.
So why?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
What is the address of Avalon Drive?
That was the new home that
And when did you negotiate that lease?
That would be near the end of October.
No, that's not correct. That's a lie.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Tammy Hintzman says the house owned by her former landlord, Elena Uranga, was infested with rats. She is suing for the return of a security deposit and rent.
So why did you move out in November?
Well, in October, I sent an email to my landlady to let her know that there's still rat noises
No, that you didn't hear anything after October. That's according to you. So I'm asking you why you moved out in November.
Well, to back up a little, after the exterminator was done, it wasn't November yet. It was still October. And I was still hearing the noises going on, so I let her know we still have a rat problem. I've already spent $300. Something else needs to be done. I'm not going to live in these circumstances. And I didn't hear from her for quite some time, so I decided I pay a lot of money here. I'm not going to live with rats. I'm not going to spend one more penny to try to eradicate these rats. I'm renting. If I wanted this problem, I would have purchased a home and take care of it.
So what did you do?
So I sent her an email back, property, and I looked for another home to lease.
May I see the email that you sent to her?
Certainly.
Thank you.
I know.
Oh, my God, you couldn't make it any smaller?
I tried to make it larger.
So I'd like you to tell me, what is the address of Avalon Drive, Vista, California? What is that?
That was the new home that
It's a new home. And when did you negotiate that lease?
That would be near the end of October.
No, that's not correct. That's a lie. Because you sent her this email on October 11th. And in this email, you told her that effective November 1st, you are moving to Avalon Drive. So that was October 11th. So my question to you is, when did you negotiate the lease for this new home? It wasn't the end of October. It had to be in September.
Well, I'm not lying. I just misspoke the date. So it was sometime between when I told her I still had a rat problem to when I was moving out.
Listen to me. This email is dated October 11th. My question to you is a very simple one. I'm sympathetic. I don't think that anybody has to live in a home with rats. You tried to eradicate the problem yourself. The problem with rats of living close to the beach is not a new one. You understand that, right?
Yes, ma'am.
My question to you is, because the defendant says she suspects that you wanted to move out early because you wanted to live closer to your sister. All I'm asking you is, I asked you a simple question. When did you negotiate the lease for the new address?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I didn't want to move. I love that little beach house.
Let me see the emails that you had back and forth in September where you talk about you still want to stay in the home you like.
Well, that was a text message, ma'am.
I'd like to see it.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Tammy Hensman says the house owned by her former landlord, Elena Uranga, was infested with rats. She is suing for the return of a security deposit and rent.
When did you negotiate the lease for the new address?
It must have been the end of September.
Okay.
But
so it was just a second. So it wasn't the end of October, it was the end of September. Now, you said to me a moment ago that you were still trying to fix the rat problem in October.
Well, I had Greg here come over to the house to see if there was anything else that he could do to try even send...
Just a minute. The dates become important.
I had sent Elena a text in September asking her, A, if she still planned on renting the property to me, and B, was she going to be raising the rent? So I didn't want to move. I love that little beach house.
Let me see the emails that you had back and forth in September where you talk about you still want to stay in the home you like.
Well, that was a text message, ma'am.
I'd like to see it.
All right. I do have that. Give me one moment here.
Can I see it, please?
That was October 2nd when she...
I can read.
Sorry.
I assume it has the date.
Actually, it was October 2nd.
It was October 2nd. You sent her an email and you said, I need to plan for my future rental situation. I would like to know if your home is still available and if the monthly payment will remain the same. Could you let me know as soon as possible?
I had no intentions of moving out of the house when I sent her this email at all.
Just a second. That's October 2nd. You just told me it was the end of September. You signed a new lease on the new house because on the 11th of October, you told her you were moving, and this is your new address. So what you're going to do now, Ms. Hensman, is show me when you signed the lease on the new house.
Captioning sponsored by.
Are you the victim of a scam? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
So what you're going to do now, Ms. Hintzman, is show me when you signed the lease on the new house.
Well, unfortunately, Your Honor, I don't have that lease here. It's at home in my saved emails.
Anything else?
Well, Your Honor.
Just a second. Is there anything else? I would say I have nothing else. Look at me.
I have nothing else.
Very good. Your case is dismissed. You moved out a month early. And you moved out a month early, and according to your email to her in October, you had every intention of renegotiating a lease with her if she wasn't going to up your rent. And that's after all the stuff you said about the rats. I love your home, and that was October 2nd. And yet, there's something disingenuous about signing a lease on another place at the end of September. So I'm not quite understanding what your goal is with this. This is October 2nd. After August and September, you've had all these problems. You've taken care of the problems. So I'm not understanding, except you moved out a month early. You used your security deposit for the last month's rent, and now you want the security deposit back. You're not getting it. We're done. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues. Judy.
We did follow the suggestions of the exterminator.
I think perhaps she should have fumigated the home.
We did what was suggested.
Locked up some more of the holes.
So that was not an excuse.
Done some closing up in the attic.
We didn't have to. We did. We did everything to have her happy.
Yes, I do feel she should have done some more.
She moved inland, which is less expensive and near her sister.
As it stands right now, when I was in Oceanside, my sister was 6 minutes from my home.
I think that was the main reason that she moved out.
Now she's 4, so that's not why I moved.
And she thought that she could use that excuse to get out of the lease.
No one should live with rats.
His car turned left and impacted my car.
You mean he went right in front of you?
The facts surrounding a crash aren't so clear.
I have pictures of the damage to the cars opposite to what the diagram is. On the record, I'm a professional driver.
Did he even see the danger?
Were you on the phone, Mr. Malachus?
No.
Yes, he was. His phone was clearly in his hand. There's light on his face, and he wasn't looking at the road. He was looking at his phone.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judy.
Blake Macalis is suing fellow motorist, 19-year-old Adam Owens, for causing an accident when he made a U-turn in front of him.
Order. All rise. It's case number 455 on the calendar in the matter of Macalis versus Owens.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Ma'am, have a seat, please.
Could you stand up, please? Right over there. This is about an automobile accident, and each of you claim the other is responsible.
Yes.
Yes.
Right? Tell me your last name.
Mrs. Ogren?
You were in the car with the defendant on the date of the accident?
In the passenger seat.
What time was it?
You know, I don't actually know what time it was, but it was late.
Don't look at him. Look at me.
Okay.
Was it daytime or nighttime?
It was nighttime.
Do you remember the date?
No.
What was the date?
It was August 19th, 2016.
Don't say anything else. The date was August?
Yes. And it was at 10:20 p.m.
What part of don't say anything else didn't you understand?
I'm just throwing that out there.
Well, don't throw anything out. I said to you, what was the
sorry,
date?
Your Honor.
Now, where were you coming from?
We were coming from his house going over to my
Just a second. Coming from his house, which is where?
In Fridley, Minnesota.
I
don't know the exact address. I know
So
something
you were coming
19
from-
Metamore Drive.
You had spent the evening at his house?
Yes. Or
What
the
time?
morning.
Shh. What time did you arrive at his house?
Oh, I'm not sure. I mostly remember the accident
No.
happening.
Let's get with it. What time did you arrive at his house? Morning, afternoon, or evening?
Sometime in the morning.
So you spent the whole day there?
Yes.
Who does he live with?
He lives with his mom.
Was his mother at home that day?
I do believe so, for a short period of time.
What short period of time?
In the morning before she went to work.
Did you sleep there that night, the night before?
No.
You got there in the morning. Did he pick you up at your house, or how did you get there?
He did.
He came to pick you up at your house. Who do you live with?
It depends on the day, my dad or my mom, but he picked me up at my dad's house.
How old are you?
I'm 18.
And you're the girlfriend?
Yeah.
So the two of you stayed home and played house for the afternoon while his mother went to work. And then sometime about 10:20 at night, he was taking you back to your father's house.
Yes.
And what's your father's address?
I don't feel comfortable giving away my father's address on TV, in all honesty. But he lives on Chicago Avenue and around 50th Street.
Smart girl. So, it's about 10:20, and you're the blue car? Sir, are you the blue car? Now you can answer.
I'm the yellow car.
You're the yellow car, right? And you were behind the defendant.
Yes.
And at some point, the defendant pulled out into the right lane.
Yes.
Your Honor.
Don't speak.
So he was making a few sudden moves on me. He went like he was turning right into that parking lot, and then...
Just a second. So you thought he was going to make a right into the parking lot?
Yes. And as I approached closer, his car turned left and impacted my car.
You mean he went right in front of you?
Yes. As if he was trying to make a U-turn.
And that's how the accident happened?
Yes.
Okay. Now you can go over there and show me your version of the events, Mr. Owens.
All right.
Step back.
Thank you.
We had been discussing...
No. Tell me where your car is. You're the blue car.
Yes, I was the blue car. I was driving through straight. I signaled to turn left at about the beginning of this block, and then went to turn into this alleyway. When I did, he went around on this side and struck my vehicle on the driver's side front.
So you were making a left turn onto...
There was an alleyway and parking lot right here.
What were you going there for? Now go back. Shh. Think very, very carefully, Mr. Owens. What were you going into the parking lot for?
We had realized I had taken a wrong turn and needed to turn around, so I wanted to go there.
Just a second. So you had to make a U-turn.
I wasn't going to make a U-turn. I was pulling into the alleyway so that I could turn around more signal driver. At the time of this accident, I was a school bus driver, and plus I have safety training through the Smith system.
Where had you taken a wrong turn?
At about 38th, I took a right turn when I needed to take a left turn.
Were both of your cars insured on the day of the accident?
Yes.
With whom?
Allstate for me.
State Farm.
Can I see pictures of the damage to the car, please?
Yes.
What kind of a car were you driving, Mr. Owens?
A Buick Park Avenue, 1997.
And what happened to that car?
Several weeks later, the engine blew due to a hose that was torn to the radiator that I hadn't seen.
The steering wheel was different too, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was out of alignment.
Were the police called?
They were. He called them, and they said they would not come out unless there was an injury.
Okay. Mr. Malakas, when Mr. Owens got out of the car, would you go over there and show me where it was that the two cars stopped and you exchanged information?
We pulled into this parking lot right up here and exchanged...
Just a second. How did he get into the parking lot over there?
It was late at night, and there weren't many cars around.
So he made a circle?
So, one way or another, yeah.
Just a second.
Yes.
So the question is, based upon what you told me, if it collided then and if it was late at night and nobody was there, then you would have pulled into the lower... Down to the...
Ended up in the middle of the road, so we were just trying to get him off of the...
But it would have been clear to me...
Yes.
...that the easiest path, if I believe your story, was to pull into the lower parking lot. That's the way his car would have gone, and that's the way your car would have gone.
Okay, well, regardless, we ended up there.
Okay. And step back now.
All right, thank you.
Your Honor, I have pictures of the damage to the cars, and it shows that where the impact happened on his car
I'd like to
and
take
on
a
my
look at
car
it.
Are opposite to what the diagram is.
Your car's the white car?
Yes, it was the white car.
Your Honor, can I mention something?
Would you show this to him, please, to the plaintiff? Were you on the phone?
No.
Yes, he was.
This accident happened on...
The 19th.
August 19th?
Yes.
Do you have your phone with you?
I do.
Is it the same phone that you had that day?
Yes.
Would you take a look at your phone log?
Yeah.
Take a look at your phone log for August 19th.
Oh, calls. I thought you meant text. I don't...
State that he wasn't necessarily sending a text message, but his hand was clearly in his phone was clearly in his hand. There's light on his face, and he wasn't looking at the road. He was looking at his phone. Before and after the accident, and even as he went to park. I know because he had mentioned...
Mr. Malakas?
Yes.
Where were you going that night?
I was heading to a girlfriend's at the time.
What's your girlfriend's name?
She's not my girlfriend anymore.
Where does she live?
Huh?
Where did she live?
She lived off of Pillsbury Avenue, which was a few blocks away.
Is that what you were looking at on your phone?
I was not. I did have my GPS logged in.
Give me back those photographs, please. Your insurance companies both did an investigation?
Yes.
Is that correct? And Mr. Owen's insurance company declined to pay your deductible?
Yes.
They were right.
But I don't believe that.
They were right. Based upon the damage to the car, I believe that you were probably trying to find your then-girlfriend's house. Maybe that's what you were looking on your GPS, but you weren't paying attention. You hit him.
That's not true.
We're done.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I attempted to contact the law enforcement.
We called the cops and they wouldn't arrive.
They said they do not come out unless either the other driver's irate or someone was injured.
I was not.
I feel very happy and confident with what happened, so.
It is what it is, and I just wish the cops would have shown up in this kind of situation.
I take credit for what I do wrong, and I didn't do this wrong.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Koltoff versus Koltoff, step forward.
Corey Koltoff is suing her sister, Carissa Koltoff, for unpaid dental work charges.
Ms. Koltoff, this is your sister?
Yes.
Older or younger?
Older.
There came a time when she needed some dental work. According to you, she didn't have enough money to take care of that dental work, so you opened a dental care card for her, which was like a credit card. Did you do that with a particular dentist or with a dental practice?
It was the care credit, so the dentist that she went to accepted care credit. It's like a credit card where you can pay for multiple different things. Like you could pay for cosmetic surgery. You can also pay for dental work, things of that nature.
Had you ever taken out that kind of card before?
No.
Did you know that you wanted to go to a particular dentist or a particular practice?
Well, yes. I knew...
Well, yes, what?
I knew what dentist I was going to.
Okay, and that dentist took this card?
Correct.
Got it. When you approached your sister about having this dental work done, do you remember when that was, month and year?
It was about May of 2016.
Tell me what you said to her.
Well...
No, listen to me. The case is relatively simple. She says you owe her for dental work. That you had dental work, she agreed to take out this card, you had the dental work done, and you refused to pay the bill.
No,
that's what
we got in an altercation.
That's what the case is about.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
We got into a dispute some time ago over a man, and she punched me in the jaw, and now we're even because she wanted to do this for me for dislodging my teeth. That's your defense, right?
Yes.
Really? Really?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Corey Koltoff says her sister, Carissa Koltoff, owes for dental work charges.
The case is relatively simple. She says you owe her for dental work. That you had dental work, she agreed to take out this card, you had the dental work done, and you refused to pay the bill.
No,
that's what
we got in an altercation.
That's what the case is about. She's suing you for this dental card bill that was your bill that you acknowledge as your bill, correct?
I'm not acknowledging the whole bill.
Okay, can I take a look at the bill, please?
Yes. I folded the pages that were...
Just give me the bill.
Do you want the one from the
Just
dentist?
give me the bill. Could you move your hair away from your mouth, please? A little bit like this.
This is from Care Credit, and then this is from the dentist.
Work that was done there was hers.
Okay, so that would
Is
be...
any of the work yours?
There is one thing that was mine. It was a $200 charge I used to take my dog to the pet hospital, and I paid it.
So all of the other bills there are hers?
Are hers.
Can I see it, please?
And then this is a copy of the dental record that I signed for her work. I kept it in order, but okay.
Would you just show the defendant this piece of paper, please? Those are all your charges, is that right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. Well, those charges in and of itself represents more than the maximum I can award to your sister. Do you understand? Okay. It's over $6,000. Did you pay any part of that bill?
I had some cavities done. That was the agreement that I would pay.
And how much did you pay?
I highlighted everything in
No. So how much did you pay? If you say that you had an agreement, look at me. If you say that you had an agreement with her to pay for part of the bill, just have some cavities, the rest, did you in fact pay?
I think it was about $550.
Doesn't scratch the surface
I know.
of what the bill is. Okay, so you paid $550. Do you have any proof that you paid $550?
I didn't bring it with me.
Well, where did you think you were coming today? To the beach? I mean, if you have proof that you paid $550, it would seem to me that that's your defense. And your defense was, if I read your answer correctly, I agreed to pay for certain of the bills, which I did in fact pay for. The rest of it was because we got into a dispute some time ago over a man, and we had an altercation, and she punched me in the jaw, and now we're even because she wanted to do this for me for punching me in the jaw and for dislodging my teeth. That's your defense, right?
Yes.
Really? Really?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
This initial kerfuffle that you had with your sister was shortly after you had a baby, is that right?
It was actually while I was in the hospital.
And so your complaint was that the man who was the father of that baby and your sister had a relationship.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Corey Koltoff says her sister, Carissa Koltoff, owes for dental work charges,
which I did in fact pay for. The rest of it was because we got into a dispute some time ago over a man, and we had an altercation, and she punched me in the jaw, and now we're even because she wanted to do this for me for punching me in the jaw and for dislodging my teeth. That's your defense, right?
Yes.
Really? The truth is, even you don't believe that. That's such a weak yes.
That was really what happened.
Well, the question is, if you had an altercation with your sister, and what you said to her was, I want to go to the dentist, and I want to have certain cosmetic work done on my teeth. And because you hit me a year ago, whatever, 2 years ago, I think that you should be responsible for that. I'll pay for my cavities. And your sister said to you, okay, I will be responsible for that. Then you had an agreement. Are you following me?
Yes.
There's a difference between that, because that would be a contract. Then she said, I agree that because of something that I did, you may have something wrong with your teeth. I will pay to have them fixed. Go ahead and do it. And that's a contract. Or you saying after the fact, I'm going to the dentist, now I have her care card, and I'm going to do whatever I remember when you hit me 2 years ago? That's not a contract. That's a one-sided. Understand?
Yes.
Which one was it?
The second one. The second one.
And the second one isn't an agreement. The second one is an emotional piece for you, but it's not a contract. So when you asked your sister to open up this care card for you, you did in fact agree that you would pay for it. And only after you did the work did you say, we're even. Now, this initial kerfuffle that you had with your sister was shortly after you had a baby, is that right?
It was actually while I was in the hospital.
Okay, and so your complaint was that the man who was the father of that baby and your sister had a relationship. Oh, shh, I don't need that. That's history. That was actually bad judgment if it's true on her part, and bad judgment on your part because you picked some sort of a putz who was ruled with this organ and nothing else. Do you understand? But then after you had your dental work done, it was my understanding from reading your answer that information came to you that your sister was again seeing this man. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. And it was then that you decided that... Okay.
As far as that goes, I remember specifically having a conversation with her.
She acknowledges you're right. She acknowledges you're legally right. What she's suggesting is that you're morally wrong. I don't get to judge that here.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by...
Are you in a family dispute? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Information came to you that your sister was again seeing this man. Is that right?
Correct.
And it was then that you decided that you were even with the dental bill?
As far as that goes, I remember specifically having a conversation with her.
She acknowledges you're legally right. What she's suggesting is that you're morally wrong. I don't get to judge that here. I would say she's probably right in that regard, but she still has to pay for her own dental work. There's no question about that. How old is your baby?
He's 2. I have 2 kids with the same guy.
That was double bad judgment. Just for my own information. Are you with this man?
Yes, I am.
Got it. Okay. Bad judgment.
I understand.
But you get a judgment. Judgment's in the amount of court's maximum because the bill is over.
Thank you.
Parties are excused and they step out, ma'am. This way.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
I'm not going to break up with her baby's dad. I'm sorry, I love him.
I said, how could you do this to me and the boys?
I know I'm morally wrong, probably in a lot of people's eyes.
What are you talking about? I'm not doing anything.
But love is strong, and I love him, so.
By reading text messages in her cell phone.
It's not going to happen, but I just hope my sister can forgive me and we can move past this.
Because it's the father of my children.
I don't really know what to say to that. I mean, I've talked to her oldest child, and
I think more than anything, it's for the kids.
He's okay with it. I mean, I know that sounds probably bad.
Yeah, we don't talk anymore. We used to be best friends.
I mean, I would love to get a relationship with my sister again. I mean, I love her, so.
That I can just move forward and put everything behind me.
I don't think in the end I lost my sister.
It is what it is. She did me a favor. She can have him.
Forgive and forget. I mean, her oldest son has forgiven me, and he's okay with it, so I think it's time for her to do the same.
I think it's what it is. I know who I can trust now.
I've not only worked for him, but I've also been a friend of his for the last several years.
Some friendship.
A part-time employee is shown
to work.
I didn't really believe I was going to be terminated.
Well, you were terminated.
But it wasn't soon enough.
You believed that the plaintiff was selling off some of your stuff.
He told me that he took some of it.
Now I understand who I'm dealing with.
Judge Judy. You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Jason Furbush is suing his former employer, John Klein, for the value of his tools and motorcycle.
Order. All rise. Now it's case number 406 on the calendar, the matter of Furbush versus Klein.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat, please.
Mr. Furbush, you have done some work for the defendant on and off, according to your complaint, for about 3 years.
Correct.
What kind of work did you do for him?
Fabrication, mostly. He's a special events provider, so we built stages and parties, basically.
Did you work on a per diem basis? Did you work for him on a regular?
It was hourly.
You paid by check or cash?
Both. I was never any taxes taken out. It was just a straight hourly wage.
Was the plaintiff paid on the books or off the books?
His earnings were reports. I would report all wages from employees.
Well, did you 1099 him, or did you give him a check with money taken out? I understood you took the deduction. The question, I understood that you took the deduction, but we know he made the income, is the question. Do you understand my question? Of course you do. You took off the expenses. Did you 1099 him or take the money out of his check?
I did.
Neither.
Neither, yes.
I just want to know who I'm dealing with. That's all. Now I understand who I'm dealing with. Okay. And I assume if I asked you to produce your tax returns for the 3 years that you worked for him, I was not going to see any.
Most likely, no.
Right. Now I know both of the people that I'm dealing with. So now you worked for him for 3 years, making stages and everything else. You want $5,000 from him because you stored some material in his warehouse, some tools and a motorcycle.
The tools I was used with his business.
Yeah. Anyway, he fired you because you came in high one day to work.
Correct, and I'm not disputing the termination.
And you realize, and you say to him, I'm not denying that, I came in to work high, made a scene there, so he fired you. And then you say he kept the stuff, or he disposed of the stuff that you left in his warehouse.
Correct.
On what date did he fire you?
Approximately October.
I don't want to hear.
I'm not sure the exact date. It was early October to get my things back.
On what date did you fire him?
October 1st.
And how did you start the dialogue on October 10th to get your stuff?
How are we going to get my tools back?
In what method?
Text message.
Text. I'd like to see it. Now, can you tell me why you waited 10 days to get your stuff?
Because I didn't really believe I was going to be terminated.
Well, you were terminated.
I'm aware of that now.
The first communication that you had was 10 days.
I was trying to give him a little space to cool down. I've not only worked for him, but I've also been a friend of his for the last several years.
Okay. So between October 11th And the next communication we have is October 17.
Correct.
So then we have another 7 days.
I was out of town.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay, so what I gather, Mr. Klein, is that you believed that the plaintiff was selling off some of your stuff. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Like what stuff?
Well, we had recently acquired a large amount of inventory from an auction, and from the auction inventory, quite a bit of it disappeared before we had a chance to actually log it into the inventory of our company. He told me that he took some of it, so I knew that at least some of it was taken.
What did he acknowledge taking?
Some aluminum hinges that were custom fabrication and not...
Have a conversation with him about the hinges.
I've been trying to get those back into the shop since before this incident, and then also after the incident.
I brought half of them back before it all.
What did you take them for?
I called John and asked him for permission first, and I brought these things to trade for labor that we needed done. I asked John specifically for permission to do this, and then when all of a sudden it became an issue, I brought half of them back immediately, and I was going to get him the other half back. I ride a motorcycle. I can't bring everything with me at one time.
How many motorcycles do you have?
Well, not running or not running. I have one running at all times, but I have a couple that don't.
Well, the couple that don't, was one of them in his warehouse?
Yes.
So that was a non-running motorcycle?
Correct.
You know, the courts really don't like to help to people that are scammers. You understand that? Courts are really reluctant to do that, because then I have to figure out which person I want to reward. The one who makes money and doesn't pay taxes, or the one who colludes with that person and then takes the deduction for his employees but doesn't 1099 them for the salary. I don't know which one. I don't know which one.
But otherwise pays all my taxes.
No, you don't, sir. If you don't 1099 an employee, you're cheating the government. You know that, and I know that. And he knows it because he never files income tax returns. It's his stuff.
His stuff, most of it, I'm sure...
Don't look down. Just look at me. He had some junk. He had some junk that was in a warehouse.
It's at the warehouse, the stuff that we were able to leave there. However,
Like
we
what?
had to vacate the warehouse, and the stuff that was in the way was disposed of.
Okay, fine. What's in the warehouse?
Bags of stuff. We didn't really catalog it other than just throw it into bags and get it out of the way so that we could move out. We had an estoppel that was signed, and we had to move out of our warehouse.
And did you stop paying rent on that warehouse? Was it a warehouse that was owned by somebody else?
Correct, yes.
How long had you rented that warehouse?
2 years.
And when was the last day that you were there?
The last day that we paid rent was through November, so November 14th would have been our last day.
So when you left, what did you dispose of his?
Anything that was in the way. So I mean,
like what? What does that mean?
There was some boxes, some suitcases, pieces, parts,
Who are you?
fabric.
I'm the operations manager of the company.
Does he pay you by check or cash?
I actually have commissioned. I am a contractor.
Well, commissions, does that mean you're paid in wampum, or does that mean you're paid in check or cash?
I'm a liaison for our clients. I do sponsorship searches, so the clients pay me directly, and I 1099 at the end of the year for myself, so I calculate my income. But we actually have...
We could actually reduce the national debt. We just kept this going like... What was disposed of his, do you know?
We have photos of the items.
That were disposed of?
Yes, there were uncapped syringes.
Just a second. I'm going to take a look at it. Is this what you're talking about?
Can I see those?
Yeah. Hand this over to him.
Yep, that's what I'm talking about.
Case is dismissed. We're done here. Thank you very much. It's junk.
No, but the tools. Hold on. We didn't talk about any of the tools.
We're done.
We're done?
Yeah.
We're done. Cars are excused.
My God.
Step out.
We thought he was entitled to something that he wasn't entitled to.
He fired me and kept my tools.
He showed up, strung out.
So fire me, but give me back my stuff.
Uncapped syringes and drug paraphernalia.
It's not illegal to own a syringe.
Just really unfortunate the turn his life has taken.
I can't believe this. This is so unfair.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Brown versus Stephan. Step forward.
Martise Brown Sr. is suing fellow motorist Richard Stephan for damage to his lane.
Mr. Brown, it is your claim that the defendant is responsible for a car accident that caused your car to be seriously damaged.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Steffen says that actually you were responsible for the accident. For some reason, he has no counterclaim, but he said that the accident was caused by your mishandling of the road. Mr. Steffen, I'm going to ask, since you don't deny that there was an accident, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. I want you to go over to that sign and show me where you live.
I live up here in Bermuda Dunes, yeah.
Okay. You have a gated community?
Yes, ma'am.
The entrance to your gated community is where?
It's exactly 300 yards from here to here. I drove it the other day
on
to
the
test
right.
it. Yes, yes, ma'am.
Okay, now you can step back. Thank you.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
He gets out of his car?
Yes, ma'am.
You get out of your car?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me about the conversation.
I said, what the hell are you doing? And he said, I was trying to get in my gate. And I said, but you hit me.
Don't go off.
And later today,
Why don't you drive your own car?
I was not aware that he was drunk because he didn't seem drunk.
If you're drunk, it's very hard to tell if somebody else is drunk. Because two drunks look at each other, they think that they're both sober.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Marquise Brown Sr. says fellow motorist Richard Steffen is at fault for an accident on the road.
Okay, Mr. Brown, when did the accident take place, sir?
October the 18th, around 1:15 p.m.
Tell me where you were going.
I was heading towards Palm Springs, a Cathedral City.
Would you go up to the diagram, please, and show me which car is yours? Start at the beginning.
This was initially my car. The car here had its hazard lights on. It was a black Toyota or Honda, I believe. The gentleman stepped out of his car and went to his trunk.
Oh, just a second. So you were behind the green car.
Yes, ma'am.
And the green car put on its flashers?
It was broke down.
Then it looks as if you went around him.
Right, and pulled in. He wasn't quite at the light. So I pulled into his position when the light...
Okay, got it. And the defendant's car was where?
Was to the left of me.
Now, then you both had a green arrow?
Yes, ma'am.
You were both in
the
turn lane, only you were to the right.
To the right, yes, ma'am.
And he was to the left of you.
Yes, ma'am.
Then what happened?
As we go into the turn, everything was fine until we get to here, and I noticed his car coming closer to mine. I hit the horn. Looked over, I could see him, and instead of him turning when he hit me, he stayed on me and ran me into the curb. So I pulled forward a little bit and stopped. He pulled up looking as though he was going to stop. So I was about to get out the car, then he pulls off. So I give chase after him. My top...
Okay, now let's stop for a second. I want to go back to where you're both waiting at the light, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
At the time that you initially saw him, you were behind the green car.
Yes, ma'am.
Was he already waiting at the light?
Yes, ma'am.
And he was the only car in that lane?
In that left lane.
Okay, now he hits you?
Yes, ma'am.
Because he's trying to get over to the right lane
the far right.
to go into his apartment complex,
yes,
his
ma'am.
house. You follow him, whatever. What happens when you stop? Now you can go back.
When he stopped and I stopped, I have a diagram. If you'd
Can
like
I see a
to
picture of your car, please?
Yes,
You have a picture of your car.
Oh, I have it. It's not in color.
I don't care if it's
right here.
color.
Here it is.
I'd like to take a look at it, please.
There you are. There.
Okay. I'd just like to take a look at it.
You can see his whole title.
So he hit you on the driver's side.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now you're at the place. You get out of your car.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me about the conversation.
I said, what the hell are you doing? And he said, I was trying to get in my gate. I said, what are you talking about? And he points up ahead when the gated community, his entrance. And I said, but you hit me. And he gives this crazy look and was talking about the guy that got out of his car next to him, everything. And I said, but you hit me. Why didn't you stop?
Just a second. Don't go off.
Okay.
Mr. Brown.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know what I'm talking about, going off?
Yes, ma'am.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today...
You say he hit a parked car?
Correct.
And you went back and wrote your number down?
Correct.
Did your insurance ever tell you that they had paid out to that parked car?
Not that I'm aware of.
Then you didn't write the number down.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Marquise Brown Sr. says fellow motorist Richard Steffen is at fault for an accident on the road.
Now, what did he say about the disabled car?
He just mentioned the gentleman that had got out of his car, and he was wondering what was going on with him. I don't know.
Okay. And you exchanged information?
I asked him for his information. He didn't ask me. Put it on my hood.
Okay. Did you ultimately give him your information?
No.
No.
He never asked for it.
Okay. Can I see the cost of repair for your car?
Hold on. Here's the... That's it there.
Thank you.
That's for the car. That's the showing that the rim is out of date. The rim is bent.
What are you explaining it to him for? He's not going to explain it
Okay.
to me. I said, can I see the bill for repair of the
Yes,
car?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Did you have the car fixed?
Not as of yet. That's right there, the one you're looking at now. That's for the rim.
What kind of car is this?
A 2001 330 CI two-door convertible.
Okay. Now, Mr. Steffen, your version.
Yes, ma'am. First of all, the car...
No, don't tell me first of all.
I'm sorry.
Just tell me your version.
The car that was stalled was the number one car in this lane. I was behind that car. The driver of the car got out. He was on his phone. The cars coming this way were kind enough to let me in and go around.
That's right.
Which I did.
Right.
And I went this way. And we met.
Just a second.
We met over here.
So?
Mr. Brown either went like this and made a left turn from a through lane, or he went into this lane. If he went into this lane, he's either in front of me or back of me.
Go back now. The accident was your fault. First of all, that bears no relation to the answer that you swore to in this case, which said you were coming from opposite directions.
Exactly.
That's what you said in your answer. The defendant came from the other direction and made a right turn into me. He didn't make a right turn into you. He has car damage on the driver's side of his car. Your story is impossible.
May I explain? When we met and we stopped, the only conclusion I came to was he had to have been turning right, because there's no way I could have met him.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,700. We're done here.
Why is that excused? You may step out.
He basically lied to him and told them I was coming from the opposite direction, a bunch of crop.
They denied the claim.
I'm grateful. Thank you.
Accidents happen.
Tell the truth always. I mean, no matter what.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Juma versus Farrington, step forward.
Latia Juma is suing her former friend, 25-year-old Carlo Farrington, for crashing her car during a night of partying.
All right, raise your hand if you were sober on June 14th. Raise your hand if you were sober. Nah.
I was sober.
Nah. I don't know about you. You all went to somebody's house to have a party, and alcohol was how we were going to party. Is that correct?
Yes.
And at some point,
Yashika.
how many people were at this party?
It was just a get-together. It was just 3.
1, 2, 3?
Yes.
But you don't drink?
No, I'm not a drinker.
So you didn't drink on November 14th?
No.
But they were drinking?
Yes.
You had to go home. You drove the car.
I insisted, yes.
You drove the car. It was her car, and the car crashed. You want money from him.
Yes.
You were in the car.
Yes.
Why were you in the car?
Well, I told him the only way he can drive is if I go with him.
So you gave him permission to drive the car?
He was very insistent.
Just a second. So you gave him permission?
Yes.
And the two of you had been drinking?
Correct.
Why didn't you drive? If one drunk was going to drive, why don't you drive your own car?
I was not aware that he was drunk because he didn't seem drunk.
Well, if you're drunk,
She tried driving.
it's very hard to tell if somebody else is drunk. Because two drunks look at each other, they think that they're both sober.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by...
Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Miss Judy, that you caused the accident because you leaned over and tried to touch the middle console. You were sitting in the back, and he veered off, and that's how the accident occurred, so it's your fault. You say, no, as soon as he got into the car, he crashed into something, so it's his fault. The court doesn't care. Bottom line is, if you are the owner of a vehicle and you give permission to somebody who's under the influence of alcohol to drive that vehicle, courts will not help you. This court will not help you because, fortunately, nobody was hurt. I don't even know if your insurance, because you say he hit a parked car.
Correct.
And you went back and wrote your number down on the parked car?
Correct.
Did your insurance ever tell you that they had paid out to that parked car?
Not that I'm aware of.
Then you didn't write the number down. Because if your car hit a parked car, and I assume you have liability insurance.
Yes, ma'am.
Then the owner of that car would have said, oh, my God, what a wonderful person, wrote down their number. They hit my car, came back, the two drunks came back, hit my car, and wrote down the number so that I could contact their insurance company, because that person never called you.
No, ma'am.
Yeah, right. Your case is dismissed. We're done here. Thank you.
All right, Judge, you may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
I had to take charge.
He said that he would fix it.
It was a fun time drinking with her.
I would never associate with someone like him.
She's gonna be back again. She said she wasn't, but she's gonna try somehow.
A couple's new car creates a headache.
He was driving, speeding, got pulled over.
Why was he driving? If you were with him, you have a license.
I did not know for sure. He did not have a license.
Miss Roberts, I don't believe a word of that.
But she had a cure for her troubles.
He was going to pay for the car and the insurance, regardless if we were together or not.
11 days after he makes the payment, you tell him it's over.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Monique Roberts is suing her ex-boyfriend, Donald Anderson, for a car payment, a traffic ticket, and emotional distress.
Order. All rise. It's case number 445 on the calendar in the matter of Roberts versus Anderson.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Gentlemen, have a seat.
Miss Roberts, Mr. Anderson was your boyfriend. He moved in with you, is that right?
Yes.
When he moved in with you, the two of you decided to do a very foolish thing, and you purchased a car together, a brand new car that cost how much?
$28,000.
And you financed it?
Yes.
What kind of work do you do, Miss Roberts?
I'm a senior legal typist for the Bureau of Real Estate.
And Mr. Anderson, what was he doing when he moved in with you?
At that particular time, he was a nurse for the VA clinic in East Palo Alto.
How long did you work for the VA?
4 years.
What happened to that job?
I left that job to help Miss Roberts take care of her foster kids, which were her niece and nephews. At that time, she said she needed help because she was going back to school to get her education, which she dropped out of school. And when she dropped out of school,
You're telling me you left a job that you had had for 4 years?
Because Monday, I will retire with 40 years of federal service.
Oh, well, so that's a different story. Now, that's a different story. So the altruism becomes somewhat different. When you retire,
yes,
and you get a pension.
Yes.
So you left work last April.
July.
And you never went back to work?
No.
How old are you, Mr. Anderson?
60.
When you moved in with Miss Roberts, did you have a car?
No, I didn't. I do not have a...
Did Miss Roberts have a car?
Yes, she did.
What kind of...
And?
Whose idea was it to get the car?
Her idea.
How come you didn't have a car?
I do not have a driver's license.
Have you ever had a driver's license?
Yes.
When was the last time you had a valid driver's license? 5 years ago, 10 years ago?
15.
15 years ago?
Yes.
So you had no use for a car?
Correct.
What?
Just to give you a little background, the reason we got this car the second time around in my name, the first time when we got a car, I put up my car for a down payment. It was a trade-in. Mr. Anderson, both our names were supposed to go on a contract. He took my name off, only had his name. So when he did something stupid, he decided to leave, and he took the car. They told me I had no rights to the car because my name was nowhere on the paperwork. So this time around when we got a car, I wasn't going back through that because I wasn't sure if he was up on the up and up or not because he's flaky. Anyway.
Just a second. Then you should have learned. Right now, you have the car, correct?
Yes.
And what this lawsuit is about, you want him to pay you for certain payments on the car. When he was living with you, that he said he paid. And when you ended the relationship, according to you, he reversed the payment on the car. Mr. Anderson says that's not what happened. Mr. Anderson said what happened was you got into his bank information and you made the car payment. And when he found out about it, he called his bank and reversed it. Is it?
Okay.
Just tell me what kind of ticket it was. Is it a moving violation or a parking violation?
It is a moving, I guess it's considered a moving violation. He was driving, speeding, got pulled over. I was sleeping the passenger. It's my car. It's in my name. He was driving, no license. Officer gave me a ticket because I could not say for sure, 100%, he had license. I knew he was in court. Something's going on with the license. I didn't know the status of the license. So
what was he doing driving the car, Mr. Roberts? It sounds to me as if you've known each other for a long time. So you knew that Mr. Anderson did not have a driver's license. What was he doing driving your car?
He was driving my car because he was on his way to work. He had to be at work by 6 o'clock. It was like 4
You
o'clock
were
in the
with
morning.
him.
I was with him.
Just a second. Well, but you know he doesn't have a license to drive a car, so why was he driving? If you were with him, you have a license, and it's your car.
Because, Your Honor, I did not know for sure he did not have a license.
Ms. Roberts, I don't believe a word of that. Not a word.
He was...
Not a word. Now, so forget the ticket. Your car, you're supposed to know who's driving your car. Your boyfriend, it sounds like for a very long time, because you not only had one car, you had two cars, he used your car for a trade-in on another car. Sounds to me more than just a 2-3 month relationship. Put your hand down. Now, allegedly make these car payments that you're talking about that he reversed. What month?
The month the payment was made was November 19, 2016.
And how much was it?
$1,148.59.
The car payment was $700 a month. What was the $1,148 for?
He was bringing the car payment current. He's been making the payment since we got the car. The deal was he was going to pay for the car and the insurance, regardless if we were the getter or not. I said, that's not going to be realistic. I know that. Just bring the car current, put me back where I was before you came in, lying to me, and we're done, and I'll take over.
Fine. And when did you break up with him?
That was the beginning of December.
So 2 weeks later?
I got it.
So just I'm asking you a question. So 2 weeks after he brought the car current, you broke up with him. That's either a yes or a no.
He moved out.
That's not my question. 2 weeks after he got your car current, you broke up with him and told him it was over. Is that correct?
Not quite, but yes. Because he moved out, Your Honor. We didn't actually break ties.
No, actually, not according to your complaint. You say, I ended the relationship, and he moved out in December.
That is correct, Your Honor.
When did you end the relationship?
We agreed to end the relationship in December. We had a trip planned to shape our relationship. I didn't find out about the car payment being reversed until after the 4th.
Just a second. It was a very simple question. You ended the relationship in December.
Yes, Your Honor.
11 days after he made the car payment.
Okay, yes, Your Honor.
Tell me about ending the relationship.
He moved out, and I told him, I'm not going up for these threats anymore. You decide you're moving out, you stay gone. That's it. I'm no back and forth.
So he decided he was moving out first, or you
Yes.
ended the relationship. You know, I'm finding your answers a little bit vague. Mr. Anderson, how did it come about that you moved out?
It was supposed to be temporarily, and me and my brother, who was incarcerated, got out. We was going to get an apartment together. He didn't have the finance. I cashed in part of my retirement, which was the $1,400, and I got bank statements to verify that from November to January 4th. The car payment was paid on the 23rd of November, and I have statements where the banks took the payment and paid the merchant. The car supposed to be current according to my bank.
Just a second. According to you, they never reversed that payment?
Bank statements.
I'd like to see it.
Bank statements.
So on November 20, $148. Do you have December statement?
All the way up to January.
So you never reversed the payment?
I tried. They said because my card was used to pay that merchant, they see no fault. I said, okay. I wrote it off. I moved out of the state.
Okay, so I have his statements. Now, what I'd like to see is your check on or about the beginning of December for $1,148.59, because if they reversed his payment, you have to pay it.
I'm sorry, you said my check?
Or your check or your bank statement.
All I have is the statement from the company.
No, I don't want a statement from the company.
I don't understand. What do you want then? Because he paid directly to the company online for the note.
No, you want him to pay you this money. It looks as if he's already paid this money?
He can pay it back to, this is where the money's going, Your Honor.
No, no.
It's not going to me. It's reversing what he has done. I even have my payment statement printed up on the 31st of June.
On the 23rd of November, he paid $1,148. That's what his bank statement shows.
I agree.
Then what do you think he owes?
December 8th, that payment was reversed. And that's what...
not according to his...
I'm asking for proof. I got text messages. I sent it to him. I let him know. They said on January 4th...
Don't tell me what they said.
Well, that's the only way I was notified, Your Honor. And I have proof to verify the payments was reversed.
Did you make the payment?
No, Your Honor. He made the payment.
He made the... That's absolutely correct.
And he reversed the payment on December 8th, and that's what I have proof of.
Here is the December statement. December 5th, 15th, 30th, 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 and there is absolutely no reversal on the transaction description. None.
Okay, Your Honor, I understand what you're stating, and I was more than happy to dispute this with the car people as well. I asked Donald for the information so I could submit it. They are telling me as of January 4th, the payment was returned as of December 8th. Donald's saying it was paid. Everybody's saying it was paid, but there's no proof that it was paid.
I actually don't care. I actually don't care. Your car, you're the driver, you pay for it. But your car, you're the driver, you pay for it. The only proof that I have that it was paid is his bank statement.
Your Honor.
Your car, I have proof that it was paid. 11 days after he makes the payment, you tell him it's over, it's finished. That's according to your statement.
In regards to the car, even with him driving, only reason he got to even drive the car the time he was trying to make it to work on time is he even promised if there was any ticket or any fault, he was going to take responsibility.
Bye! You can't say to him, the car's in my name, you have no license, but I'll let you drive it anyway. What happens if while he's driving the car and he has no license and the car is in your name, he hits somebody and kills them? What happens? What? Just a second.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today...
Do you understand that if your defense is that your dog couldn't have injured her dog because your property is fenced and yet your dog got out to get run over, those two things are contradictory. You do understand that.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Monique Roberts says ex-boyfriend Donald Anderson owes for a car payment, a traffic ticket, and emotional distress.
Now, your insurance is going to say, I'm disclaiming. He had no right to be in that car. Just like the police said, your car, your responsibility, you're in the car, you let an unlicensed driver drive your car. I don't know why he hasn't had a license in 15 years, and I don't care. Your car, your responsibility.
Parties are excused and they step out.
We had a verbal agreement. He said he was going to pay for it, and he should own up to it.
Justice prevail.
I feel I was treated unfair. He maliciously tricked me and just ruined everything.
Angry women say angry things.
Don't trust Donald Anderson. Get a man that's true to his word.
Just keep it real.
And not deceitful like he is. Sorry.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Samanis versus Rummel step forward.
Jennifer Samanis is suing her neighbor, Justin Rummel, for vet bills and a ruined garden after his dogs came onto her property and attacked her dog.
Miss Samanis, you recently bought a home which is next door to the defendant's home, and I assume that this is a relatively rural area.
Yes.
How many acres does your home
We
sit
have 4
on?
acres.
And what about you, Mr. Rummel?
Mine's 10.4, ma'am.
Now, the plaintiff says that your cows ate her vegetable garden, wandered over into her property, and destroyed the vegetable garden. And in addition, sometime thereafter, your dogs attacked her dog. She has a small dog. She wants you to be responsible for the vet bill. Your defense is that that's impossible because your property is fenced.
Yes, ma'am.
That's your defense.
Yeah, the road's going out of the driveway, get in and out.
All 10.4 acres.
Yeah.
I'd like to see pictures of the fence.
You have pictures that I have too?
Just a second. I didn't ask you for anything yet.
Okay. That's fine.
There's pictures.
What kind of dogs do you have, Mr. Rummel?
I got American Bulldogs. Well, the dog that she's claiming attacked her dogs,
He ain't no longer alive.
What kind of dog was that?
An American Bulldog.
How big?
He's probably about 110 pounds.
What happened to the dog?
He got run over.
When?
About 2 months ago, probably.
How did he get into the road?
He got out in the road. I ain't sure how it happened, ma'am.
Well,
I was at work at the time.
But do you understand that if your defense is that your dog couldn't have injured her dog because your property is fenced, and yet your dog got out to get run over, those two things are contradictory. You do understand that?
Yeah. Well, ma'am, we live in the country. There's coyotes. There's all kinds of other animals out there.
She's going to tell me that she didn't see any other animals, sir. She's going to tell me that she saw your dog.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
If my dog got attacked, I take my dog straight to the vet so the infection don't occur, and then you don't have to...
No, we wouldn't really shoot
No,
them.
I wouldn't
That's how you
shoot my
train
dog.
a dog in
That
the
ain't
country.
happening.
Don't speak.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Jennifer Samina says neighbor Justin Rummel owes for damages from a dog attack.
Okay, you want to tell me when this happened with your dog? I'm not getting into your vegetable garden.
Okay, that's fine. September 5th, 2016, I let my dog out in our yard.
What kind of dog?
It's a Schnauzer, 17 pounds. I heard her yelp. I ran out and saw two of his dogs on top of her.
On your property?
On our property, yes. So I ran out, and as soon as I ran out, his dogs took off and back into his yard, and then she took off. And
when you say they took off back into his yard, how did they get into his yard?
His yard is not completely fenced in. When he says a fenced in, they're like 2 poles. That's it. They can go underneath, yes, and there's plenty of openings.
Okay, did you take your dog to the vet?
I took her home to my house. I shaved her down. I cleaned it up. I talked to my mom and my sister. They both worked for vet clinics before. Sure. I took her to the vet a couple days later when I noticed she wasn't doing well. Yes.
And it's that bill you want paid?
That's the bill I want paid, yes.
Now, on September 16th, did you discuss what happened with the defendant?
Yes, I did. After she was released from the hospital a week later, I called him and...
Prior to that?
Oh, yes, I did. Actually, my dog inside. I went outside, talked to him, told him what happened.
So he was home?
Yes, he was home.
Was he outside or inside?
He was inside. His kids were outside.
So you went and you knocked on his door?
No, I asked his kids. I do not go over. Shh. I would not go over to his house with his dogs out. He had 5 dogs. So I told his kids to go get their dad, and he came over and we had a discussion.
Where was it? Outside in the backyard?
It's kind of the side yard.
Tell me what you said to him and what he said to you.
I told him his dogs had attacked my dogs, and I was crying at the time, and then I'd let him know that, if I do have to take my dog to the vet, I will let him know. And he said, that's fine. He said, if you see my dogs, I said, your dogs are over here, your cows are over here. He said, if you see my dogs over there again, shoot them. And then he said, well, with a BB gun. And I'm like, well, I don't own a BB gun, so.
How many dogs does he have now?
I'm not quite sure.
Okay, can I
I've seen 2.
Can I see the vet bill, please?
Yes. I believe on the 2nd or 3rd page is the complete bill. I have pictures of her, too, if you want to see them.
I would.
Okay. Sorry. There you go.
Well, actually, that's very smart of you.
Makes it a lot easier.
It's much better than the cone.
Yeah. Well, she did wear the cone, too.
Dog okay now?
Yes, she's great.
Great.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by...
Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Want to see the bills, Mr. Rummel?
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay.
If my dog got attacked, I think I take my dog straight to the vet so the infection don't occur, and then you don't have accumulating bills and stuff.
No, you would probably shoot him.
No, we wouldn't really shoot him.
No, I wouldn't
Just
shoot
BB
my
guns.
dog.
That's how you train a dog in the country.
Happening.
Don't speak.
My dogs sleep with me, ma'am. I'd like you to look at the pictures of my dogs here.
Not interested. She came over to you immediately. She told you what your dog had done. She tried to take care of it herself. It was not possible. Whatever it is, you're responsible for those vet bills. That's it. It's simple. Judge for the plaintiff in the amount of $2,600. Thank you. We're
Nothing
done.
for the garden, even though we've asked them numerous times?
$2,600. We're done. I suggest you put a fence around your garden.
Step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
No, it was it's a lot of work to put a garden in. And
Well, she said my cow's gotten native, keep piece of cabbage. This garden freaking tiny, you know?
Well, he doesn't come over and look at what we've planted and what happened, so he's never apologized for anything.
Because it's a country, stuff happens.
And I saw the dogs on top of my dog, so, and he knew it. That's all right.
If she had proof that she's seen my dogs doing it, there would be.
I said, just make payments, do something, because, you know, it's on the credit card and I need it paid off.
I just hope we can be neighbors, you know? I mean, we're going to have to be.
I'm glad it's done.
You know, they bought their property, I'm buying my property. That's how it's going to have to be.
He stopped working for medical reasons.
A boyfriend's illness left him vulnerable.
I went back to work briefly, then went back to the hospital for surgery for about a month.
But his unsympathetic ex
What month's rent are you seeking from Mr. Moyo?
is sick of waiting for money.
The months that he was in the hospital,
You filed for an order of protection.
I decided that I would kick him out, and I changed the locks on Friday morning.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Michelle Nielsen is suing her ex paid rent, utilities, and a personal loan.
Order. All rise. Yeah, that's case number 421 on the calendar, the matter of Nielsen versus Moyo.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Judge parties have been sworn in. You may be seated.
Miss Nielsen, the defendant is your former boyfriend. You say he owes you some money.
Yes,
Well, let's figure it out. How long have you been living at your current address?
since January of 2013.
What kind of residence is it?
It's an apartment complex.
Is it a one-bedroom, two-bedroom?
2-bedroom, 2 bathrooms.
And who moved in with you in January of 2013?
My friend, Katie, but she no longer lives there.
And when did she move out?
January of 2014.
And who moved in January of 2014?
2 more friends that I had.
And how long did those 2 friends stay?
They moved out in August.
And who moved into the second bedroom then?
Papias Moyo?
The defendant moved in with you.
Yes,
Why did they leave?
because they didn't want to live in my apartment with me and my boyfriend.
Okay. Now, when Mr. Moyo moved in, according to you, he was working, correct?
I was, yes.
And your agreement was that you were going to split the rent, which is how much?
So it was $1,500, but it could be more with the trash utilities and the apartment fees. So it wasn't consistent every month.
And then there came a time when Mr. Moyo became ill. He had some surgeries
Yes, I chose.
for medical reasons, and then moved out in
I ended up moving out in November
November of 2016.
16. Yes.
Okay. Now, what month's rent are you seeking from Mr. Moyo?
The months that he was in the hospital that he wasn't able to pay.
You're not going to get that. That's ridiculous. That's what you do when you have a mate, and your mate goes into the hospital and is unable to work. If you care for your mate, then you say, listen, if I got a terrible disease and I had to have surgery and chemotherapy and radiation, I would expect my mate to cover my bills while I was unable to work.
Yes, and when he goes back to work at Postmates and Uber and still continues not to pay me back for that.
Just a second. What you said, I'm suing him for the time that he was in hospital or unable to work. So I'm not considering that time. So now I'm asking you, what months was he working and chose not to pay rent? Because you lived together for a long time without a problem. So think of my question and tell me which months.
May, June.
Okay, in May. Were you working in May?
I did work in May, yes.
Did you give her any money in May?
No, I did not.
Why not?
I was just starting out again, like going back to work, and I also was trying to catch up on all my bill, like cell phone bills, insurance, and car
Did you
payment.
have a discussion with...
No, we did not. However, at that time, I was actually the one who was doing all the groceries, so I felt like that was...
Your contribution?
Yes.
That was your contribution?
Because it felt it was more
Okay,
of a
so
mutual
what
thing.
you were saying is you chose to pay other bills instead of paying any part of the rent.
Yes.
Now, what other month?
June.
Were you working in June?
I lost my job at the end of May, but I did pay rent June because that is when I got all my, like the back pay.
So what did you give Miss Nielsen?
I just gave her half of the rent.
In June?
Yes.
No, he did not.
How much of a check did you get?
Like $1,700.
He gave you June. What other month?
July.
Were you there in July or were you working in July?
That's when I was driving for Postmates, and I did not
give her rent.
No, I did not.
I never received that check that you said for the prior month that you said he gave you July. I never received a check from him. So does he have the check for that?
Don't ask him any questions. We're now in August.
August?
Did you pay her any rent in August?
No, I did not.
Were you working?
Yes.
So you owe for August. What about September?
September, I went back to the hospital because I had been taking medication. It was affecting my liver, and I was in the hospital for 2 weeks.
Was he in the hospital in September?
The last week he was.
What about October?
October, I paid her.
$200. Now you're going to tell me about a loan.
Yes.
Tell me, allegedly, when this loan was and what was it for?
It was for car repairs for his vehicle.
Did he give you any money towards the loan?
He paid a little bit.
How much?
It's $200 in cash.
Do you know what she's talking about?
Yes, I had a problem with my car, so she paid for it, and then I paid her $200 back when we started living together. However, I just never paid her, but we never spoke about it.
So how much is left on that? You originally gave him $1,700?
The total that he still owes for is $872.86.
That's $3,072. Now he has a counterclaim.
Yes.
In November of last year, Mr. Moyo left the apartment. I gather things weren't going well, and you had made an arrangement that he would be moving out of the apartment on or before February 1st, so he could save up some money to move. Is that correct?
Yes.
And then he went out of town in November of 2016. Where did you go?
I went to San Francisco.
For how long?
For 2 days.
Now, during that 2-day period, you filed for an order of protection.
I did.
And a lockout order.
Yes.
I'd like to see a copy of what you filed. And now I would like you to tell me why you filed for an order of protection.
We agreed that he would pay half of the rent as well as $500 to pay back the money that he owed me, and he only paid for half of the rent and did not honor his agreement to pay $500 that he owed me. So I decided that I would kick him out, and I changed the locks on Friday morning. He left out of town. He came back on Sunday night.
Just a second.
Yes.
I'm just asking you why you filed for a protective order and a lockout order.
It was for
You told me that it was because of money, because he promised to pay you when he didn't. I want to see what you told them he had done to you that allowed them or suggested to them that it was appropriate to give you a protective order. That's what I want to see.
I have text messages?
No. I don't want to see text messages. I want to see the paperwork that you filed in court asking for a protection order. You asked for a protective order because you are in fear, because the defendant has assaulted, menaced, threatened, or harassed you over a period of time, or there was an incident in which he assaulted you, menaced you, threatened you, or harassed you, immediately preceding filing for the protective order. Now, I want to see the allegations that you made against him. You already told me why you filed for the protective order. You told me because he didn't pay you and he had promised to pay you $500. That's what you told me.
And that's why
No. No judge will grant a lockout order based upon that. They'll say to you, go to housing court. Give them a 30-day notice. That's what they do. Only if you lied in the protective order would the judge give you a protective order. Show me.
I showed the court.
No.
You have everything on your desk for the restraining order.
Would you give it back to her? I want her to show me what she told the court in her application for a protective order, in the application when she went there by herself, the day he left for San Francisco, or the day afterwards, because that's his counterclaim. What date did you leave for San Francisco?
I left for San Francisco on the 11th of November, and I came back on the 13th. That's where she had locked up the apartment. However, she did not file the protective order until the 18th of November. And the reason she did...
So, just a second.
Yes.
So you came back...
Yes.
And then there was a lockout order?
When I came back, she had locked, and she had texted me and said that I went to the apartment, and indeed she had changed the locks.
Did you lock him out of his home?
On Friday morning, I had the locks changed.
Yeah, you can't do that. You can't do that.
I'm the owner on the lease.
It doesn't matter.
And he has broken his verbal agreement to pay me back the money that he owes me.
Miss Nielsen,
Yes.
You have no legal right to do what you did. He is now living in the apartment. He had been living there for almost 2 years. And you were living as a couple, and he was paying half of the expenses. That's where he got his mail. That's where he lived. And you have no right, just as you would have had no right with your 2 girlfriends who lived there, to lock them out if you decided you didn't. Once they pay you rent and they become your paying tenant, they're a whole different set of rules.
And when we agreed...
No, you're arguing with me. I'm telling you what the law is.
I know, and I understand.
You understand, but you didn't want to give him his 30 days, so then you went to court and you asked for a protective order. And the protective order says that he and I agreed he would come over to pick up his belongings. And he said to you, I'm going to make your life hell because you're making my life hell. He verbally abused me, calling me a... And right now you have the upper hand, he said, but wait and see. On the 13th, he came to my house and kept trying to get into my apartment after I told him he was no longer welcome. Request a restraining order because of my safety. That's what you wrote?
Yes.
Good. That's it. You don't have to say anything else. On your counterclaim, sir, I'm awarding you $3,072.
Thank you.
Do you understand?
Yes.
Good.
Thank you.
You get nothing. We're done.
Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Yes, he did cheat on me, yes.
This was a claim that was made by a friend of hers.
Through text messages and through a friend that said that they saw his profile on a website.
They never proved, like, by going back to the site to see me.
Well, I lost trust in him, so...
She did not believe me.
Not get into a relationship with someone like that again.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Meyer versus Pinkerton. Step forward.
Desiree Meyer is suing neighbor John Pinkerton for her son's medical bills after John's dog attacked him.
Ms. Meyer, you and the defendant are neighbors, and it is your claim that in September of last year, your neighbor's dog bit one of your children.
Yes, ma'am.
And you want him to be responsible for the unpaid medical bills and for pain and suffering.
Yes.
Mr. Pinkerton's defense is that it was your son's behavior that caused this dog bite. That's your defense.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Zombie didn't like that. He turned around and bit.
To the hospital? Okay. Could you come up here so I can take a look at that?
And later today...
Do you have children?
Yes, ma'am.
How many?
3.
Is there a support order in place for the children?
Is.
Did they take that money right out of your check?
Directly out of my
He's
paycheck.
not giving you $1,700. You get where I'm going?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Desiree Meyer is suing neighbor John Pinkerton for her son's medical bills after John's dog attacked him.
Now, what kind of a dog do you have?
It was a Boxer Mastiff mix.
What do you mean it was?
I had put him down after the incident.
How long did you have him?
About 5 years.
Ever have any problem with him before?
No, I didn't.
And you have 2 dogs?
Yes, we
What
do.
kind do you have?
Optimus is a Pit Bull mix, and Max is a Staffordshire Terrier.
So they're 2 pit bulls?
Yes.
Did you see what happened, Mr. Pinkerton?
I had my back turned to when the dog fight happened, and then when everything happened, it was too
So
chaotic.
the answer is you didn't see what happened?
No, I didn't.
But it happened on the plaintiff's property.
Yes.
So if it happened on the plaintiff's property, you understand that in all likelihood you are responsible because the dog was out of your control on the plaintiff's property when it happened.
Okay.
I mean, that's...
All right.
That's sort of easy. That if you have an animal that causes injury on someone else's property and the animal is out of your control, because it was out of your control, it wasn't on a leash,
No.
then you're responsible. So the only ones that saw what happened are these 2 guys. Which one of you was injured? Tell me your name.
Reed.
Come on up here. Okay, why don't you tell me what happened? You and your brother were playing on a trampoline?
Yeah.
And where were your dogs?
On the trampoline with us.
And your parents weren't at home?
No.
Tell me what happened with Mr. Pinkerton's dog.
We were jumping on the trampoline. John was coming over. His dad jumped on the trampoline with us. They started to fight.
You mean your 2 dogs and John's dog?
Yeah.
Started to fight?
Yes.
And what happened next?
And then I told them to stop fighting. And Zombie didn't like that. He turned around and bit me.
Where did he bite you?
On the hand.
On the hand?
Yeah.
And did John take you to the hospital? Did you have stitches?
No.
What did they do?
They put a patch over it.
Okay. Could you come up here so I could take a look at that? Nasty. Okay. Go back and sit down. Do you have homeowners insurance, Mr. Pinkerton?
No, I don't.
Why not?
I'm renting the place.
You have renter's insurance?
No, ma'am.
You have no insurance?
Yes, ma'am. We have homeowners.
No, I mean medical insurance.
No. No, ma'am, we don't.
Okay.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today,
So you had a vehicle that you were having problems with?
Yes.
And you had to buy a new one?
Yes.
And you asked for some money?
No and yes.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Desiree Meyer is suing neighbor John Pinkerton for her son's medical bills after John's dog attacked him.
Now, what is this Northwest Medical Center? Did you enter into an agreement with them to pay off your bill?
Yes, they were going to send me to collections.
And that was in November?
Yes.
So you allowed them to take out $66.43 out of your account?
Correct.
But you would like the entire amount paid off?
Correct.
You're absolutely right. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $4,000. We're finished. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
John contacted me on the phone and told me that he was taking Reed to the hospital.
I had to do that myself.
It was shaken. I mean, it was completely, there's no words to describe it.
Pretty difficult.
It's unfortunate. The whole thing is unfortunate.
You all get along.
I hate that any of it happened. Glad it wasn't worse.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Bryant versus Lee. Step forward.
Joaquin Bryant is suing his former friend, Darrell Lee, for an unpaid loan to purchase a work vehicle.
Mr. Bryant, you claim a loan to the defendant, who was a friend of yours. He needed money to buy a truck. He was having some transportation problems, according to your complaint, and said that he couldn't get to work without the truck. He needed $1,700, which you say you loaned to him.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Lee does not deny that you gave him $1,700. However, he has some convoluted defense, which I'm going to let him try to explain to me. When did you give him the $1,700?
February 16th.
Of last year?
Of 2016.
Did you give it to him in check or cash?
Cash, ma'am.
Okay. Now, did you have a truck at the time?
Yes, I did. But there was problems with it, and
okay, so you had a vehicle that you were having problems with?
Yes.
And you had to buy a new one?
Yes.
And you asked for some money?
No and yes.
Well, how would he know that you needed...
I didn't ask him for any money.
Tell me how the $1,700 came about, sir. Exactly. And
okay.
Remember one thing, in the words of a very...
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by...
Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Tell me how the $1,700 came about, sir. Exactly. And remember one thing, in the words of a very wise person, if you tell the truth, you don't have to have a good memory.
Okay. Well, exactly what happened was Mr. Bryant...
You see, right away, you're looking over there. Look right here.
Mr. Bryant knows that I'm a DJ.
Don't tell me what Mr. Bryant knows.
Okay. Well,
I don't want you to tell me he knows what's in his head. I want you to tell me $1,700.
Mr. Bryant came to me, and he offered to help me fix my van.
That's not true, Your Honor.
Shh.
He offered to help me fix my van, and he said that he would not lend, but he would give me the money because of the fact that he wanted to help me out with my gigs, and he would have extra gigs for me. I would give him 25% of my gigs, and then that, he would earn the money back that way.
That's not true, Your Honor.
Just a second. If you speak again, I'm going to dismiss your case, and you don't want to do that because you're going to win. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
What do you do for a living, sir?
I'm a customer service manager.
And are you a married man, unmarried?
Single.
Do you have children?
Yes, ma'am.
How many?
3.
Where do they live?
They live with their mother.
Take that money right out of your check?
Directly out of my
He's
paycheck.
not giving you $1,700. You get where I'm going? He has 3 children. He's not giving you $1,700. And if he was nice enough to loan you $1,700, you got to be nicer. Hey, you got to be man enough to pay him back.
He didn't lend me anything.
You got to be man enough to pay him back.
There was a promise that he gave me. He promised that he was going to get me some gigs.
$1,700. Judgment for the plaintiff. We're done.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
Mr. Bryant had gave me that money, and he said that he would, buy into my business.
I have absolutely